I know I'm on mute. I know I'm on mute because I'm just doing that YouTube stuff. You know, okay. All right. I'm going to get to us in just a second. Just have to put my phone on the charger. I've got some interesting stuff to go over in the Dulos case. You can hear a lot of Jennifer had a blog, and she's got a lot of her thoughts on there. I guess at one time it was public, and then she had, I don't know whether she had backlash or she just couldn't take the amount of views that she was getting or whatever was happening, and she put it on private. And now, though, it gives you an insight into who she was and what was important to her, which will let you get to know her a little bit more. Hang on, let me just get this. Okay, so we're going to go over that first, and then there's an article. It was an article that was in Greek, and translated, it gives you a lot of information about Fotis that they just didn't have in the articles here, insight on his marriage and everything. So I think actually do that one first and then do the other one. But let me go back to the main chat. Okay. So, hi Crystal, hi Stephanie, hi Sia, Pat, and Simi, and Lonnie, and Flower Girl, Mandy, Mary Kim, Crystal, Kristen, Donna, Potter, Sonia, Lacey, Stephanie. My runaround was good. I really did. Tab, Sakura. It was more of a brisk walk kind of thing. I don't want to get too silly this time of night. Lisa, I got your Brandy, Sharon, Pear Tree, Two Scooters, Brian Clan, Amanda, Jeanette, Gigi, Winter Snow, Owen, Mandy Hall, Ethel, Jeanette, I got you already, right? Lisa, I did. Stephanie, it's Apple Snapple. You sent me, good. You didn't forget the $300 application fee because there's no way I could process it without that. You were first. You should go buy a lottery ticket. Let's see here. Deborah, hello everyone. And if you're not feeling well, I will send best wishes. Oh, that's nice, Deborah. Brandy. Somebody talking here. Margie. Hey there, Margie. Hey, Dreaming. Hi, Jenny D. No 2 feet off the top. I can't do that this time of night. 1 foot on the floor at all times. Have I heard about the new one, Baby in the Backpack? Baby in the Backpack? What? Are you talking about Dulos? Who is Jessica Groves? That's the mother of the baby that was in the well. We can get that. She was guilty on all 11 counts. He was not guilty of aggravated murder, but thankfully they got him, on guilty of murder. And then I think he had, what did he have? I thought he got 10, but it might be 9 counts. Well, anyway, his is, he's got, what has he got? I wrote it down, 45 years to life. And she's got life without parole plus 32 years. So they're away. She was on the stand. When she was on the stand, yeah, I said to Jimmy, how old do you think this woman is? And he's like 60 or something. I don't know, he's late 50s, 60 or something like that. I said, she's 39. Well, actually, I think she turned 40 because she said something like in my 40 years. So I think she turned 40. Nothing, I mean, even like her whole, like everything about her looks like a much, much older woman. But they only had 2 kids. I couldn't believe that. Everything, the CPS worker wasn't there when he was giving the urine. She had it cracked. He had the little vial. He knew how to keep it warm. Then he said, well, I would get why were you getting your son's urine? He said, well, I'm collecting my son's urine for my friend, for your friend. But if you're clean, why aren't you using your own urine? Oh, well, I couldn't because I went to a bachelor party and I smoked some weed, and so I wouldn't have been clean. So that's why I had to get my son's urine. But I wasn't collecting my son's urine for me. And then, it was really they said, how did your son notice, the baby's head was swollen and black, it was black and blue. That's how black it was. I guess the bruise was huge. And you didn't notice it. I don't know. He had a little mark from the dream catcher that fell. And then they asked her, did the dream catcher cause this baby any big injury? No, it didn't. She was crying a lot when she was on the stand, but I think only one time did I see a tear. She blew her nose a lot. She was crying a lot, but there weren't a lot of tears. And then I'm done talking. So it was just, the father gave like 19 versions of the story, but they're like, you let her stay there when you said she wasn't living there. That's why they gave you yeah, but she had nowhere else to go. She told me that she was out, and I couldn't let her go there. Okay, so he was totally responsible. He flubbed up the drug test. He used somebody else's urine. He should have never got the baby back. He told her that she wasn't living there. He let her stay there. He saw her hit the baby, he said 4 times. Why would she hit the baby? I don't know. Was there ever a good reason to hit the baby? Why? It was just infuriating. It was infuriating. So, she says she hasn't had time to properly grieve. Okay, well, why did you wrap the baby? Oh, I was going to go get the baby. That's why they wrapped it in so much plastic and everything. And what did you do? We dropped it in the well, and we went in a field, and we sat there, and we cried. Okay. And she hasn't had the time to properly process this because she's been on drugs and, oh my gosh, all that stuff. Hey, Danielle. So anyway, they're gone. This whole thing makes me sick. I'm glad they're gone. Yeah, right. It's just a sad, sick case. So many things all around. Now let's go to Fotis' Greek article. And happy birthday. Apple Snapple made a nice thing that we showed in the last video. Because it was the baby's the day they got the verdict was the baby Dylan's first birthday. No, you never got a clear answer. From her. There were so many different, first you saw her jerk the arm, then they were all over the place. She watched it on Law and Crime Network. You can watch it too on Law and Crime Network, Owen. It's right there on YouTube. All right. Okay, so here's Fotis, okay? This is a very insightful article, so I'm just going to read it as it is. This is translated from Greek. So it says, Fotis Dulos, I didn't kill my rich wife. Now understand, this is a translation, so that's why it's, you wouldn't, okay. This is an interview. Born to a wealthy family and a particularly charming young man in the mid-'80s, Fotis Dulos adored water skiing. And he left Hatzigiani Maxi at the Hilton to go down to the Star to pursue his favorite sport. His life seemed ideal when he left for America to study, first at Columbia, then at Brown, before moving to New York, where he worked at Ernst & Young, one of the world's best-known chartered accountants. He made good money and was able to ski in the summer in the Hamptons and descend on the snowy slopes of Aspen in Colorado in the winter. That's where one night he saw his old girlfriend, Jennifer Farber, again. a beautiful woman he'd been dating for 12 years. Their divorce was not easy, especially since the former couple had 5 children. Twice, now remember, this is a translation, okay? Twice twins, 2 boys and a boy, a girl, and then another daughter. So what this means, 2 times twins, they had 2 boys and then another set of twins. It was a boy and a girl, and then another girl, who inadvertently found themselves in a tough whirlpool separation. So I think when it says that's where one night he saw his old girlfriend Jennifer, a beautiful woman he'd been dating for 5 years, for 12 years. He'd been married to. I believe that's what it should say there. On May 24th, Fotis' ex-wife, who was staying with the children in New Canaan in a spectacular rented home, was last seen alive. From that day began the nightmare of the Greek businessman, whom the authorities investigating the case considered directly involved. The arrest warrant published contains evidence as well as interpretations that find Fotis Dulos and his lawyer vertically opposed. See, now I'll say the dreaded skier, after paying a $500,000 bail, returned to the mansion where he stayed with his ex-wife and their children in Connecticut, where everything in his life seemed like pretty much a fairy tale. He has not been able, I think this is about the first arrest now. He has not been able to see his children since May 24th. Even though the divorce had banned them from leaving the state of Connecticut because of his divorce, they moved with their nanny to New York. Okay, so they're with her mother. That's what we know already. Their mother had arranged for them to be examined by a dentist. Okay, that's what was happening the day she left. She was having them examined by the dentist, okay? And then she would meet them there to return to New Canaan, but that never happened. Since that afternoon, they had been staying with their grandmother, Gloria. Jennifer's father, no, he's Hillary Farber. Now, see, it says Hillary, but it's not. That's not his name. It's not translated correctly. Vice president at Chase Manhattan Bank passed away 2 years ago, and it's Hillard. It should be Hillard, and they translated it Hillary. And Fotis Dulos has not seen them and has not spoken to them. At the same time, Jennifer Farber is considered dead by her relatives. While police investigations have not found her, this thriller has unfolded in the last 5 months. Okay. As for Fotis' arrest warrant, each side gives its own interpretation of the elements embedded in its 40 pages. Police are convinced that the Greek businessman has tampered with or destroyed evidence, and evidence which he certainly does not accept. He speaks through the prison. The guards and the officers were kind and fair with me, and I never felt threatened. I was in solitary confinement for 9 days in a 2x3 cell, and thank God I'm not claustrophobic, were his first words. The days, this is him again, were suddenly long and lonely, so I tried to read and think a lot. I even created differential equations and tried to solve them in order to keep my mind alert. It sounds like something Jimmy would do, actually. The skier champion said, I have very little communication with the outside world, and I didn't know what was going on. As soon as Norm Pattis and his team took over the case, things changed, and they visited me, and together we prepared a plan for the case. Greek-American Fotis Dulos gives his own version of what happened. He hopes Jennifer is still alive, no matter how utopian it seems to many people 5 months after the day she was lost. I asked him if he ever imagined himself in the orange uniform of the prisoner, and his answer is immediate. I never imagined myself in prison, and, to be exact, I was pinched to make sure I didn't see a bad one. That's the literal translation, but I wasn't in a bad dream, right? Okay. The answer to what he lacked most during his time in custody is to be expected. A man who, until last May, never imagined the adventure that awaited him, my children, Michelle, missed my daily contacts with coworkers and friends, but most of all, I lacked my freedom, obviously the most important value in our lives, which I considered to be a given until then. This is the writer saying, I'm referring to his marriage that looked happy until 2016 with 5 children and a comfortable life, all of which seemed to run perfectly, but he has a different view. My marriage has not been so happy since 2010. Interesting date, 2010. Remember what happened in 2010? The nanny ran over his mother. Jennifer has gradually begun to take me out of her life and has become increasingly distant, a hermit. I tried hard to reach out and understand what was happening, but it never felt better. I'm sorry to say it, but Jennifer was suffering from serious psychological problems that I didn't immediately understand and didn't want to go into further. I put it aside because I was in love with her, and I focused on other things that made our lives beautiful. Our kids were growing up beautifully. My job was going great, and I was trying to enjoy life despite the fact that at my wedding, I was no longer happy. Now, I'm sure that he doesn't mean that my wedding. When their children began to notice that the parents were in fact something like 2 partners rather than 2 in love, Fotis Dulos decided to take the first step. After a while, I decided that if this situation continued, Jennifer and I would not be honest with ourselves, our children, and of course one another. So I asked her to split in December 2016. This contradicts her filing for divorce first. So he just might have been handing this guy a line. I asked him how his ex-wife handled the divorce request. He said, we had a civil conversation. Oh, this sounds like Chris wants. And Jennifer asked me to try to save our marriage, but my heart was no longer there. I wanted to be the best parents for our kids, best friends, and support each other, but without being together. We haven't had relationships in over 6 years, and I didn't expect that to change. I think, again, I mean, we haven't been in a relationship in over 6 years. 2016, how old would the kids have been if they were 8? Yeah, he's kind of claiming that they hadn't had sex since they conceived the last child. I didn't expect that to change. At one point, my contact with Jennifer was centered around the kids, and there were no private moments or mental contact. I knew this would require a process for all of us that took time, but for me, the decision was made. Because much has been written about intense controversy and quarrels, I asked for his own version. No, we didn't often get into trouble. That's what he said. This is, again, the literal translation of his Greek. Hardly at all. Jennifer and I are both quiet characters. In March of 2018, I told her that I had feelings for Michelle Draconis, and that we could no longer be married. We had long discussions, all at a civilized level. We decided to break up our marriage amicably, and we agreed that the children would learn it after the end of the school year. According to him, the children had realized that their parents had moved away. As I said, the children had understood. So, as we had agreed, we spoke to them early in the summer and received them very well. They received the news very well, is what it's supposed to be. Peter said this is for the good of everyone. And we told them about Michelle and Nicole. At the same time, they told him that Michelle, Nicole is Michelle's daughter from another marriage. And my move to Connecticut, the kids would say they were excited because they liked Michelle and her daughter a lot. The debate is inevitably coming to Jennifer's disappearance, and I ask him, to make a comment. I can't explain it. I hope and hope that the police will find it. I hope it is alive. That's the rough version, okay? I ask him if he thinks he's dead. He's got the he's and she's mixed up. So it's she's dead. Or not him, the translator, I'm sorry. I am very concerned about her disappearance. This is Dulos talking now. So what I believe is not so important. I say it again. I wish it was alive. I wish she was alive. It should be. Okay. His view of Michelle Troconis after her third deposition has not changed, as some would expect. My heart is with her. Michelle is experiencing incredible pressure. I know her. I love her, and I'm sure she'll tell the truth in the end. He himself sounds chilly when he talks about what he is going through. I try to be strong. I pray for Jennifer and my children, Michelle and her daughter, and I try to be grateful for the family and friends I have every day. The only thing that saddens me is that due to a court decision, I have almost 5 months to speak, so he's lost 5 months of speaking or seeing his children. Are there people who like him in these difficult times? He says, my whole family, my friends, my high school classmates, my work colleagues, but also people I've never met who approached me and told me that they support me in all that I experience and believe. Okay, so that was an article, like I said, it was in, that was from the end of September, before this arrest here. So it's interesting to hear what he says with the marriage. Now listen to Jennifer's blog. And okay, her entries start, and they're all like a diary. Okay, it's not. We're going to start from the beginning here, and it's let's see here. Okay, that's the end there. So this is the beginning. Starts in 2012. Now remember, he said that 2010 was that was it for the marriage, right? So this is December 6th, 2012. She says, the title of it is, there's top secret, and there's no picture here or anything. Funny now that the blog has no visitors. Less for me. I do feel undercover. I've got to make this a little bigger. There is not enough time in December to do it all. Next year, I will be on top of it. I have both more time and less with Noelle in school as well. Funny. Someday there will be the time. Someday there will be the time I had, especially before I married when I lived in Colorado. Got my own tree and decorated it with my dog Sophie by my side. It was her photo I had taken with Santa Claus at CJ Paws in Aspen. That's where he met her. That's what the article says. That's where he met her. We are supposed to go again this year to Aspen, December 26th with the boys. Me, the least accomplished skier of the bunch. It's all good. I like to stay warm. I like working out there with Bernadette. December 6th. I love Christmas music. The old-fashioned, Carpenters, Bing Crosby, the Chipmunks. I want to pace myself, enjoy each day, get enough rest, stay pretty and groomed and shimmery too. I also need a mini break, which I have not had from being a mom since late August. And that was for me some 36-hour mad jaunt to Florida for water skiing. It's been too long. I still need a friend, but times are so busy right now. Laurel, Carrie, Kiki, Carolyn, and Caroline, and Jerry closer to home. A new woman I met in St. Bart's. I want to connect with Michaela. Yeah. The Nutcracker Suite, outdoor decor, lights, cameras, shopping lists, too much action or activity. Still a huge Live with Kelly and Michael fan. They are both my generation. Look great, lead exciting, sexy lives on TV and beyond. My eyes are big, my heart worn, my list frayed. Jennifer Dulos. Then 12/8, that was 12/6. This is what you read at 12/8, 2012, putting to bed. It is about 7:30, and I'm putting my babies to bed. First Clea Noel, then C&C. Everyone is tired from a long December week. You see, it's Friday, and everyone is sensitive and spent. Riding today, C&C did great. They had their first show this Sunday. The boys, their second. Walk-trot show. Last time, they got a blue ribbon in their respective groups. This year, they compete with more advanced riders. You progress, you succeed. You go to the next level, where you're just starting out all over. Yeah. We are okay. December is too busy time. Is a too busy time. You have to stay centered, cool, aloof to the whole whiplash shebangery of it. You need to protect your furthest and innermost reaches. You walk on the other side of the street from it. You keep your sane distance from the meltdown that is over-frenzied U.S. Christmas. TV jingles. We need to get candy stocking stuffers from Walmart and holiday tins filled with popcorn as if from Santa for each one of them. The baby who doesn't even know what popcorn is. I don't get enough time with her, with any of them, or myself. I look forward to rocking her to sleep each and every night. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I or James Taylor or Carole King will be there. Jennifer Dulos. 12:10, 10:30, Lock and Key is the title. I need a lock on the door to my office. I have a lock, one that locks the door, and you can get in with a special pin that we keep somewhere in the house, but this lock has no key. I need it. You see, it's Christmas, and we have 5 children, all 6 and under, and they could at any point appear, and the magic that is Christmas and Santa Claus and Father Christmas. Oh, and then Hagia Vasilis, the guy as he's known in Greece, the cover would be blown sky high. I have bluffed and said that I am wrapping my gifts for Daddy or Grandpa. I have been caught red-handed with some incriminating refills for this Nerf bow and arrow thing that has some specific jazzy name that now escapes me. I am lame. Plus, I cannot stay awake past 10 p.m. on any given night when I could conceivably do this wrapping. And then she has parentheses, wrapping, hiding, with all of them asleep. Much like, say, the Tooth Fairy, who did not show up last night, actually for Theodore, age 6, 4th missing tooth. Theodore placed the 5 and the single in the bunny bank as he's saving for a new car in about 11 years' time. I told him that he and his twin brother Petros should ask his dad for more hours at work. My husband has a building company. They can shovel snow. Hold on a minute, I gotta get rid of this. There's something that popped up on. What the heck? Stupid thing. Hold on a minute, I've gotta. There's like a pop-up here and I can't move it. Heck is the thing to close this? The freak out of here. let me just try to find the article by itself in the muck. Different view. This is ridiculous. How do I get rid of this thing? It won't move out of the way of the... Freak out of here. And now I opened it in another window. It's still there. Okay, we're going to have to try it. It's cutting off like the first... so they can shovel snow. Something letter at so much of helping out. Placemats, napkins, and cups. We keep the kids' plates in this low accessible to them drawer. Something up the stairs. They can get dressed and also ready for bed by themselves. The other day, crazy miracle that it was, they both, I can't say, deal when they are 3 smaller, younger children to care for, to be fundamentally doing less. Amen, really. Something out Christmas. Yes, the boys are at the age where they could find me out. My reindeer games without Ben Affleck, but they are also something and lessening our proverbial load. The other night when we had friends over for dinner, I gave them each a book and said something, and they did. They will be 7. 2nd grade is rearing its tiny head. My 4-year-old daughter has begun simple addition. Her twin brother can... Well, she just says, I'm a baby. I guess she means that's the youngest one. And of course, I love this because she will remain my baby for a lifetime. Little does she know that at something her anywhere she wants to go. And then there's a blanket over the Christmas loot. It looks like a big pink lumpy clump in the part of the room their eyes rarely get to. I still need something, if any idea where it was. That's a shame that I can't read this because of this stupid... ridiculous thing here. It just keeps following me. What the... hold on a minute. There's no X anywhere on this thing. I can only enlarge it. It's at its minimal. How the heck do I get rid of this thing? Right click, left click does nothing. Okay, I'm going to bring this over there. You're going to tell me how to get rid of this. Somebody's going to tell me how to get rid of this thing. Okay? How do I get rid of this thing? Okay? I click this thing. It goes here. How the freak do I get rid of this? I've got to get the chat up. Any idea how I get rid of this thing? It will just follow me. If I scroll up, it comes with the article. I can't get rid of it. Anyone? Hey, Yatsira. Yatsira, did you figure out how to get back in Slack? Because I don't know. You were... Click X. There's no X. I know, Winter Snow. That's what I looked for, an X. I don't see an X. Where's the X? Where's the X, Winter Snow? Anyone? Push over. I tried. Look. What do you mean push over? It doesn't push. How am I pushing it over? Tell me. Okay, you have no idea. It follows me everywhere I go. Okay. There's got to be a way to get this thing gone. Oh, boy. This is really crazy. I've never seen anything like this. All right. Hold on. I'm going to have to, like, let me see if I can, hold on a minute. See, the one lock and key won't go down below that ad. So I should be able to read the rest of them, but I've got to read them like this much on the bottom, okay? What to watch. This is 12:12. I am not the go-to person regarding TV, but I do every so often get hooked, chiefly as a way to entertain myself while running on the treadmill when I'm not running outside. Again, a run is 6 miles or more. A jog, is 6 miles per hour or more. A jog is less than that. I sometimes do 5.7 or 5.8, so I am a near runner, I suppose. Anyway, live with Kelly and Michael, 9 to 10 a.m. on weekdays, especially the first 15 minutes where they chat ad-lib. Gossip Girl, nearly over. Next Monday is the last 2-hour episode, but hey, go back and watch the entire fun, catty Ode to New York and Headband series. Some lines are truly hilarious. Okay, Leighton Meester is a genius. Mad Men, Season 6, coming next year. So this was what year again? This is 2012. Yes, that's when I was watching Mad Men, I think. Okay. Writerly, Cheeverly, great acting, wonderful storytelling. Here John Slattery and Roger Sterling have great lines. New Girl, truly funny, 21 to 22 minutes on the iPad. I try to do back-to-back episodes and zone out the rest of my hour running. Max Greenfield as Schmidt, a comic goldmine. Downton Abbey, yep, tried to avoid it. First episode, I thought they are just blatantly copying Upstairs, Downstairs on PBS when I was a kid, right down to a storyline based on the Titanic, but then Maggie Smith, Elizabeth McGovern, Michelle Dockery's pale, flawless visage, to use a word I never use, yes, January 6th. It finally airs here after being broadcast in the UK this very fall. I have avoided all media regarding it. Surprise me. And that's it. I need something else, I guess. I am checking out Girls, now available on DVD and in iTunes. The writer of the series graduated from St. Anne's. Yeah, she puts this YA all the time. Isn't that Canada that says, oh no, they say A-E-H, I don't know. Could be Sex in the City, but more current and youthful, or could be awful. We'll let you know. P.S. Today is 12/12/12. The baby was born on 10/10/10. What did we just read about 10? The 10 that when her marriage ended. The marriage ended in 10. The marriage ended when they had that's the baby. They never had a relationship after they conceived the baby. So the baby is 9. Okay. That's my sister's birthday too, 10/10. We have friends, okay. We have friends who purposely married on 7/7/7. I know people that did that. Luckily, a Saturday. It's the last sequence like this in our lifetimes. Useless. As Fotis proposes, they reverse or DNA as we age backward. Oh, Fotis wants they reverse or DNA. I think she should be our DNA. That she forgot the U there. They reverse our DNA and we age backwards. So Fotis is very vain. He wants them to reverse the DNA and we're going to age backwards. Muck like those deep sea jellyfish profiled in the Times Magazine section 2 years ago, Sunday. 2 Sundays ago, I'm sorry. 2 Sundays ago. I'm trying to read like through this much, okay? Monday, December 17th, 2012. That's the title of this one. Tomorrow is Monday. Back to school for 3 days before the winter break. I will be sending the 3 younger ones whose classrooms will be abstaining from any discussion of the events on Friday. Of the events. Oh, this is, I know what this is. This is when Newtown happened. The boys will stay home and get Christmas items done, such as personally written cards for their teacher. There are many. Maurice, Tom, Beth, Carolyn, James. Carolyn, James, that's funny. Jill, Denise. Maybe we will take their dad to buy hockey skates, their gift to him for Christmas. They are in a classroom with students ages 6 to 9, and I cannot dictate what they hear from their peers. By Tuesday, the day should be more about the excitement of the holiday, which recedes from me this weekend, about vacation, about cheer. We never have the television on at home. They watch movies that we decide upon together. We watch Curious George and Max and Ruby on DVD. We watched yesterday's Sleeping Beauty. They don't know they still have their innocence on this front intact. Their minds are full of Santa's momentous journey, and when do we take them for cookies, and when do we bake him cookies and things of this lovely nature. I have had a low-grade headache since Friday, when I decided not to pick them up early, not to run, and let my unbridled need for them knock them all down, but rather to just be normal. I think Governor Malloy of Connecticut said it best this Sunday. He said that we can say the words, "We feel your pain," but really we don't. Those parents feel it. They are feeling it right now, and the knowledge of this just doesn't leave one's psyche. Of the world they must now live in without their babies. Okay, then let's see. She has, I don't know, December, these things like Christine and Sue being judged, deciding to keep her ribbon. Hold on a minute, let me see if I can get it over here. January mini check-in. Lock and key, top secret, putting to bed, what to watch. Oh, here, let me go this way. More cheerful thoughts. And now this stupid thing. All right, more cheerful notes, 12/19. The horse show at Foley Farms was Sunday, December 9th. They call him Peter, Theodore, Christiane, and Constantine participants. Visiting us, they had Yorgos, Nathaniel, from both from Athens, Greece, and sunny Florida. Christiane helped to prepare Cocoa Puffs, featured behind her below. It's very strange. It's almost like at times someone that doesn't speak English as their first language is writing this, and other times not. It's very odd. Then the next one was getting ready to do battle. Christiane got all chatty during the show. Her and Constantine's category, lead line. We knew the second she got chatty, she was not getting first place. Then it said Christiane with Sue being, oh, these were photos. That's what's going on here. Christiane got second place, but the photos are not here. All right, so she's showing just photos here. And now, maybe that's why it sounded so weird. Okay, it's beginning to look a lot like this is 12/23/12. So I finally came up for air in the mad dash to create Christmas 2012 from out of the ether, or to pull it from behind my ears. Gifts wrap. Now Constantine says he wants an Escalade and a Chevy. I said, why don't you go Christmas shopping with Donald Trump? I think he means miniatures or toys, but who really knows? He's elusive. Sometimes I don't even understand what he says. Our Aunt Martha and Uncle Alex came up yesterday. Martha is an excellent hostess and cook, and on the 25th, the menu is basically hers. I am deeply, eternally grateful. Fotis is happy to have a few days not working and playing with the children, organizing the cars he collected as a boy, hanging out with us all. I told you the toys were his. I told you. The kids are happy at home. Happier are Christiane and Peter, who have the same indoorsy streak that I do, a huge capacity to stay at home forever. Theodore is thrilled for his dad's cars. The baby is loving these bite-sized cupcakes that her auntie Christiane brought her from New York when they stopped by yesterday. Uncle Mark spent Friday with us. Our whole family is gaga for Uncle Mark. Constantine kept singing, "Uncle Mark, be a lady tonight," to the Guys and Dolls song that Frank Sinatra sings in the movie, Luck Be a Lady. I am okay. Calm, stressed, happy, unsure, well-rested, yawning. I am an Alanis Morissette song, basically. 2 days and counting. No Elf on the Shelf. I am not even on Facebook, so anything current escapes my grasp. My mental capabilities to let anything else in. 9 days from Newtown. Appreciating our children more than ever. We get to have Christmas this year. Have yourself a merry one, really. Do. Rest, pause, be still, then keep it going, as there is much yet to be done. Okay, then she put a gift of quotes on 12/24. Joy is the best makeup. A good marriage is where both people feel like they're getting the better end of the deal. If only we'd stop trying to be happy, we could have a pretty good time. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Some cause happiness wherever they go, others whenever they go. Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are. Find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. We can never obtain peace in the outer world until we make peace with ourselves. My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness. Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Okay, and then on the 26th, she says, "Christmas over and out. Next year, I will shop and wrap by December 1st. Next year, I will limit the gifts and not have the children panting from an unwrap-a-thon frenzy. We will instead take time on the 25th to be with each other, to breathe each other in, to enjoy one another." This year was, of course, a mad dash, plus some added pressure of caring for 5 young kids who are on Christmas break, plus packing to go away skiing on the 26th, me madly tossing out the trash as quickly as they could unwrap and make it, trying to keep an edge on the house. I lost. I won. I lost time, energy. Next year, I will go away at some other time. I also did it Christmas, but was not there. I performed and got the A's, but did not slow down at all. There was no time to slow down. Next year, perhaps. Me hopes. They all had a grand time. Santa came in person. She has in the 25th just to say hi and to give them each what they really, truly, exactly wanted. It was a success. Out there, I'm still having PTSD. It will sink in someday. The whole day. I just wish somehow to slow down my life, pause it, take a soak, but I find it hard to do this. I soaked in the tub tonight. I went to bed. I want to go to bed early, here at mountain time. I want to be more in one whole piece. I wish to grant my life more time. 12:30:12. It's so in my nature to first get out the junk and the no's and what I did wrong, as if I'm cleaning away the dust and dirt to then see what I did right, or what was still so okay about Christmas 2012. So the good. With sleep and some distance, it's starting to come to mind. The tree was really beautiful, the one in the family room or great room. It's just the biggest and most stark room in the house, and I love how crystal clear and free of clutter it feels. I love our ornaments. I love our stockings. And this one bright, twinkly wreath the kids adored and enjoyed it as well. They did poop out from Christmas gifts, but this is also my memory from when I was a kid, and my Aunt Audrey gave us, me and my sister, Christmas. She wrapped up so many gifts, plastic pretend jewelry, bath soap, walkie-talkies. We were so lucky. My grandmother, Rose, watched football. We all hung out and ate a grand meal. Turkey, I think. She made sugar cookies with sprinkles on them, like the ones we did for Santa this year. Our Aunt Martha and Uncle Alex came up from Philadelphia. My parents were there. We were a full house the 24th and the 25th, which felt good. I am afraid to say perfect. The cult of perfectionism. I know I'm a goner for. No one can stage an intervention or de-brainwash me. Yeah, there's that yeah again. Christmas presents, the ultimate challenge, not only to get exactly down to the last painted polka dot coloring on a desired object, but then wrap it as if it was in a window display at Barney's or not. The jury's still out on how far to go wrapping a gift for someone under 7. Yeah. The food, yummy. The stockings, full. My feet, weary. My mood, okay. Now we stare at another brand new year, 2013. I have to avert my eyes from the news, or else I will feel depressed about the fiscal cliff and gun control, will it ever truly pass, and subway pushings and the like. I need to clear new slate. I want to take care of myself in 2013, to take care of my own needs enough to have the Christmas spirit year through. I want time and space and decluttering. I want peace within, clarity, space, rest. I hope for the kids, self-worth, dignity, laughter at no one else's expense, joy, rest, and peace as well. I hope for Fotis, a successful year, skiing, at work, with the kids and us. I hope for my father, the absence of disease, for Alex and Martha, strong new clients, for the parents of Newtown, to feel God's hand at work within the caring and the tending, as people care for them. Let them feel His holy presence, and to all of us, may we bask in the light of the good. Okay, 1/4 of 2013. Happy New Year 2013. I am now immersed on a new kick. Cheryl Richardson and her writings on making time for our own lives, and along the lines of my go-to spiritual trainer. Hold on, I think I have to clean my glasses. Either that or I don't need my glasses. I don't know which one is spiritual trainer, as my friend Carrie would call her. Louise L. Hay, loving oneself unconditionally, self-parenting at the highest levels, putting one's own good first. Oh, what Cheryl Richardson calls extreme self-care. A quote to start off the new year: if one could only have one resolution for 2013, what if the only resolution you make is to love yourself more? Cheryl Richardson. That was that for that. Let me see, 1/11/2013. So it's been a while, and I do need to get a few things down for the sake of ye kids. For the sake of decluttering my notes regarding possible posts. Last night I saw, against my will or better judgment, what I can withstand, the Quentin Tarantino movie Django Unchained. And while the first part may have had its merits, for me it turned total spaghetti western, in that term had if that term had anything to do with red sauce being splattered on every wall, bodies being pumped with bullets, or exploding innards shooting across the various southern, inhospitable, wallpapered rooms on display. Ugh. I kept on leaving to get air, sanity, a break from the bloodletting. Fotis was in his own particular brand of heaven. Next time, I'll bring a beach chair and ye trusty iPad and park myself outside the theater as he imbibes. 2. Oscar movies announced. Again, used to be such a big deal for me. Now, not so much. I liked Lincoln, but it was slow. I liked Naomi Watts in The Impossible, but it was near impossible to withstand. Just muck and flapping wounds and the innards of a muck-infested tropical hospital. The movie lingers in for hours, it seems. 3. Theodore. I love Theodore. I've said it many times. I was too harsh on him yesterday morning when he bounded up on the kitchen counter in his snow boots to retrieve his beloved Santa wished-for water bottle. He left for school without it. I felt so bad that I walked them all inside that morning. Noelle cried as she had to have me say goodbye to her, whereas at normal drop-off, she's saying goodbye to me. Yeah. Christine showed me her all-neat and all-ordered cubby. I was brimming with pride, impressed. I got hugs, many from Petros. Constantine told me to get out. He could do his cubby chores all by himself. Guilt? Alarm? Do I bring him to our bed more to cuddle each night? Do I schedule a 4-month Constantine-only safari? Or is he just a kid who needs less, is more independent, or, hey, wallow in the guilt? Some things on the notes in my iPhone I never coughed out, or did it? Or did I? 1. Theodore believes, as do all the children now, that before their time they were with God waiting to be born. 2. Clea Noel said sorry to Petros' Snoopy one night this September, but it came out as sorry, Noopy, or what the boys heard as sorry, Noopy, which got such a great laugh that she repeated the line for a week. Christiane taking a bath in our tub in Greece this summer, she and I sharing potato chips, so bad mom moment of potato chips in the bathtub, a la Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, which I've never actually seen. There is a dance song in Greece with a refrain that just goes Barbra Streisand. I may have chronicled this before, but forgive me if I'm getting old. Constantine calling me a slowpoke while driving, and Daddy a fastpoke. If this is the 10th time you've heard it, just throw tomatoes at your computer or toss your iPad into the trash. Both Theodore and Petros can read chapter books now to themselves in bed at night before they go to sleep. Yep, sue me. They also both do multiplication. Genius, what can I say? They will soon be 7, the boys. Life identity crisis lurking on the horizon. Just lock me up until they are all approximately 24, and then I can have an official nervous breakdown. During Storm Sandy, there was one moment when Noelle decided to put her sunglasses on around her belly. Here, take a look. So she has a picture, but it's not there. Then it's 1/12/2013. There are leaves on the tree outside. There are no leaves on the trees outside, just snow. It's been 50 degrees outside of late, our warmest January yet. I'm in the process of categorizing the post, thus going back over them for content, and now rereading or heavily skimming April 2012. Not the best, but now things are brighter, clearer. I sort of had wanted to erase the stuff that was bogged down or just down, but it is. Not to be too accepting at anyone's expense, mainly my own, leaving it out there. The not great. I don't know what it means, but it seems odd to take it down or to cut it apart from the current blog. The current blog started somewhere around August 8th. And that trip to Santorini, lucky me, and, well, a new era of trying. And now with January, a new page or leaf to just fill. I cannot see because I'm having to read. To just, what does she have? To just little old me. I think you sort of, I wish I could read like on a regular level. This is crazy with this thing. I think you sort of have to start at the end with yourself. You make yourself happy. You deal with disappointing people for the sake of not letting yourself down. You have to sort of look out for number one. And there's a continuation of this line that Rodney Dangerfield says, but I won't repeat here. Don't be number two to anybody. That's what my father always told me. It's hard for girls, now women, wives, mothers. It's hard to know this for real. We have a friend who recently changed her life. She did what was best for her and others did feel happy or hurt or had to adjust to her to fit her new life. She's beaming, living her life her way. Who's to say that it's wrong? There is a chapter in a book I'm reading, the chapter after the one about doing mirror work to get grounded in self-love and acceptance and really just being on your own side in life. You and you against the world. You as your own champion. The chapter is entitled, Let Me Disappoint You. And it really rings true because so much of the time it pains me to feel the disappointment of someone else so much so that I will pain myself for their benefit. But I am trying not to do this. A new leaf, maybe by March or by April, it will unfold, grow green, and flap about. I'm curious to see. Then she has something about Cheryl Richardson's Little Things in Pursuit of Pleasure. This hit home to me when I read it in my inbox yesterday. I've been working on my next book, a memoir about the perils and pleasures of aging consciously. I'm doing my best to live each day awake and aware of the finiteness of life. As I make decisions, I keep asking, if today were my last day on earth, would I be satisfied with this choice? By doing so, I'm becoming acutely aware of what adds comfort, contentment, peace, and meaning to my life. I've realized some pretty interesting things. One thing is how little value I've attributed to the simple things that bring me immense joy. Watching the twinkling white lights on the tree in our backyard, playing fetch with my cat who thinks he's a dog, sleeping with an open window so I can hear the owls hoot at night, listening to the rain without doing a damn thing but enjoying the sound. It's so easy to put all of our energy into what we've been trained to value, advancing a career, making money, building a business, or completing our to-do lists. In our drive to succeed, we tend to miss or dismiss the events that bring us joy. They seem secondary. A reward after a hard day's work or a peripheral pleasure we happen to stumble upon. I'm making pleasure a primary goal. I've been tracking the little things that bring me joy every day for over a year now, and it's always a surprise at what makes the list. Simple things, tiny things, things that often cost nothing at all. What if making space for pleasure in our busy, technology-driven lives becomes a highly regarded goal? How would life be different if we valued peace and delight and joy as much or more than striving to succeed? What if the little things that leave us breathless might be the big things after all? Okay, and now she has Let Me Disappoint You for 117. And this is also from there, Let Me Disappoint You. I hate being disappointed. There's nothing worse than getting your hopes up only to have them squelched when something doesn't turn out the way you plan. And that's precisely why I hate to disappoint others. Over the years, I've watched myself go on autopilot when someone asks for a favor, saying yes, when I know in my gut that I'd rather not do it. Or I've suffered, spending too much time trying to come up with a graceful way to let someone down so they wouldn't feel hurt or angry at at my no. At our core, most of us hate to hurt or disappoint people. As a matter of fact, many avoid it like the plague. Here are a few reasons why. We want to avoid feeling guilty. We hate being disappointed or hurt ourselves, and we want to spare others the emotional pain of that experience. We lack the knowledge to say no with grace and love. We're conflict phobic, so we'll do whatever it takes to keep the peace. We want people to like us. One of the harsh realities about practicing extreme care is that you must learn to handle your anxiety when you end up having to disappoint people, hurt their feelings, or make them angry. And you will. When you decide to put an end to the cycle of deprivation in your life, you'll need to start saying no, setting limits, and putting boundaries in place to protect your time, energy, and emotional needs. This poses a new challenge for most of us caring individuals. Why? Because inevitably, you'll end up disappointing a friend when you decide, for example, to honor your need for a weekend off rather than to agree to babysit her kids. Or there's a good chance that you'll hurt your teenager's feelings when you tell him to walk to his friend's house so you don't have to chauffeur him around for the 10th time this month. And you can rest assured that you will piss off a spouse who suddenly has to do his own laundry because you decided that you're no longer going to play housemaid to everyone who lives under your roof. Trust me, you'll be changing the rules of the game and some people won't like it. But remember this, if you want to live a meaningful life, that makes a difference in the lives of others, you need to make a difference in your own life first. That way your motivation is pure. Feelings of discomfort, guilt, or fear are just part of the process of focusing on your own needs first. It can be quite surprising to see the lengths we'll go to avoid hurting or disappointing people. My conversation with Barbara, a woman who called into my radio show, was a good example. Barbara was aware of her tendency to be a good girl by the time she shared this story with me. She knew exactly what was going on. I'm about to commit the ultimate good girl act, she admitted. For me, the last 6 months, my boss of 10 years has worked so hard to line up a transfer to a new position in a warm part of the country, something I've wanted for a long time. But as I go through the interview process, it's becoming clear to me that the job isn't what I thought it would be, and I'm starting to realize that I won't be happy. And here's the crazy thing. Believe it or not, I'm actually thinking about taking the job anyway because he's really gone to bat for me and I hate to let him down. As outrageous as this story seems, I wasn't surprised in the least. If you think about it long enough, I bet you could come up with your own examples. You agree to take on a new client even though everything inside of you screams, warning, warning, because you don't want him to feel neglected. Or you have an argument with your spouse about not having enough time together only to find yourself agreeing to head up a fundraiser for your kid's school that very night because you want the other parents to know how committed you are. Every day people make significant decisions based on what others want, knowing full well that on some level they're committing an act of self-betrayal. The good girl or good boy habit is a tough one to put down. So what happens when you start to disappoint people or let them down? Well, it comes to practicing extreme self-care in the face of our relationships. There's something you need to know. You may well lose a few relationships in the process. Up until this point, if you have a tendency to overgive, there's a good chance that you've trained people in your life to expect it. Now, by making your needs more of a priority, you're changing the rules. Don't be surprised if someone close to you, a best friend, a family member, or a spouse, tries to pull you back into the fold of compliance. And when this happens, the worst thing you can do is give in. When you do, you give mixed messages, and you teach people not to trust your word. Instead, you need to be honest, direct, and appropriate, remorseful, and that's it. Don't over-explain, defend, or invite a debate about your decision. The fewer words, the better. That's the end of that one. Now, there's one entitled Dear Abby and Ann Landers. Pauline Friedman Phillips died this week. She was 94 and known to the world as the advice columnist Dear Abby. Her twin sister, Esther, or Eppie, was known as Ann Landers, and also an esteemed syndicate advice giver. They were both Jewish. born in Iowa to a Russian immigrant father who became a success by owning a chain of movie theaters. Both Pauline and her sister married Jewish men as well, with an equal ambition and work ethic and just overall bent toward success. Pauline's husband was the heir to a liquor fortune, and Eppie's husband founded Budget Rent-A-Car. Jews, including these female twins, whom life could not keep from doing, striving, and achieving. I know they talk about how people in other countries live longer, how they take all of August off, how they while away Sundays dozing after a big family feast. Americans, New Yorkers, Jews don't. Well, they may, but basically the inner drive is to keep on doing, to never ever slack off, to achieve. When the boys were first born, there was not a thank you note I did not send straight off when some new burp cloths or silver rattles arrived at our doorstep. Our birth announcements were all immediate, planned way before the due dates. I get out Christmas cards in November. My to-do list is my everyday marathon in achievement, getting it all done. Homework by all four who get it now is completed Monday night. I was a Phi Beta Kappa. I am the only kid who did not want to be at St. Anne's School in Brooklyn, which now has become the hotspot of the children of Martin Amiss and Rachel Weisz, married to James Bond, and the creators and stars of The Girls. I wanted grades, fierce competition. I wanted to show my teeth. It's just not Jewish to be laid back, to not try hard, to not work basically. You always try to be better, do better, rise to the top. It's in our blood. It's hard sometimes in Greece, though a nice break and getaway, I suppose, though I am adding up how my children are benefiting from it. Language, travel, swimming, improvement. But it's odd that Greeks do actually take a nap, and then they shower and they go out to eat at 10 or 11, then go to a bar, then to a club, and home around 4. And then these people are in their early 40s, who supposedly have kids, jobs, but I suppose no stress. I think that stress gets a bad rap, but it's really not the worst. To me, to see someone not trying, taking too much vacation, not working, just seems insane. I admire those who wake up every day prepared to climb a mountain, who have daily, weekly, heck, hourly goals, who want to get to the top of their own personal heap. This I get. This I admire. This actually works for me. If you want children to keep their feet on the ground, put some responsibility on their shoulders. Abigail Van Buren, ask, a.k.a. Dear Abby. Okay, now let's see. This is 123 January mini check-in, 2013, so it's cold. January and 4 degrees this morning. Trying to be more at ease, relaxed as I face and move through the day. Some things I am liking now. Live with Kelly and Michael still. Girls, watched all season 1 on download. Running, jogging, depending on my pace. Being with the kids. Clea Noel being so loving. Constantine coming out of his shell. He really believes he will be president one day. If it happens, I can write the book on brainwashing. Theodore having the perfect smile. His very dentist told me. No cavities at all here. We have our preschool routine down so well that we have literally minutes now to spare. What could go currently? Dinner, board making dinner. It could all happen and be eaten and cleaned up while I'm taking a bubble bath and watching Downton Abbey on my iPad. But no, I always thought that dinner was superfluous. I mean, you've eaten all day long. Just have a candy bar and call it a night. Some friends of ours having relationship trouble and it being sad, though feeling secretly smug that at the moment we are okay. Water skiing. It hurts my back a bit, and I feel the opposite of limber. I get all tight and muscly, yuck. My New York number for years was Yucko 123. Brilliant, I figured that out. January in between, not quite living the life I would personally sing about, Doing, getting done, a drag or lag, I don't know. Maybe January blahs, not full out lie on the couch and don't bathe for days, but some low-pitched blah. Grateful for sunshine, not snow, a warm, cushy bed, getting to bed at a reasonable hour each night, health, food, even if I don't want to whip it all into something called dinner, legs that do run, hair that's not gray, teeth that are all still inside my mouth. Okay, February 16th, 2013, Ways to Love Yourself by Louise Hay. I have found that there is one thing that heals every problem, and that is to love yourself. When people start to love themselves more each day, it's amazing how their lives get better. They feel better. They get the jobs they want. They have the money they need. Their relationships either improve or the negative ones dissolve and new ones begin. Loving yourself is a wonderful adventure. It's like learning to fly. Imagine if we all had the power to fly at will. How exciting it would be. Let's begin to love ourselves now. Here are 12 commandments to help you learn to love yourself. 1. Stop all criticism. Criticism never changes a thing. Refuse to criticize yourself. Accept yourself exactly as you are. Everybody changes. When you criticize yourself, your changes are negative. When you approve of yourself, your changes are positive. Forgive yourself. Let the past go. You did the best you could at the time with the understanding, awareness, and knowledge that you had. Now that you're growing and changing, and you will live life differently. Don't scare yourself. Stop terrorizing yourself with your thoughts. It is a dreadful way to live. Find a mental image that gives you pleasure and immediately switch your scary thought to a pleasure one. Be gentle and kind and patient. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself as you learn the new way of thinking. Treat yourself as you would someone you really loved. Be kind to your mind. Self-hatred is only hating your own thoughts. Don't hate yourself for having the thoughts. Gently change your thoughts. Praise yourself. Criticism breaks down the inner spirit. Praise builds it up. Praise yourself as much as you can. Tell yourself what you are doing with every little thing. Support yourself. Find ways to support yourself. Reach out to friends and show them and allow them to help you. It is being strong to ask for help when you need it. Be loving to your negatives. Acknowledge that you created them to fulfill a need. Now that you are finding new positive ways to fill those needs, so lovingly release the old negative patterns. Take care of your body. Learn about nutrition. What kind of fuel does your body need in order to have optimum energy and vitality? Learn about exercise. What kind of exercise do you enjoy? Cherish and revere the temple you live in. Do mirror work. Look into your eyes often. Express the growing sense of love you have for yourself. Forgive yourself while looking in the mirror. Talk to your parents while looking in the mirror. Forgive them too. At least once a day, say, I love you. I really love you. Love yourself. Do it now. Don't wait until you get well or lose the weight or get a new job or find the new relationship. Begin now and do the best you can. Have fun. Remember the things that gave you joy as a child. Incorporate them into your life now. Find a way to have fun with everything you do. Let yourself express the joy of living. Smile, laugh, rejoice, and the universe rejoices with you. Okay, then she has 2/20/13, Mondays with Marlo, on my iPad at night, right before I go to sleep. Have watched her interview on Kelly Ripa 3 separate times. Cindy Crawford, who knows everything about beauty. Bobby Brown, makeup artist and mogul. Jackie Warner, fitness expert. John Hamm, Mad Men heartthrob. Yep, all really good. I have loved Marlo Thomas since That Girl, and all her work promoting women girls from Free to Be Me, You, and Me to Ms. Magazine, The Era Moment, and beyond. This is so weird. I can't even tell you how weird this is because this Marlo Thomas thing that she's talking about. If she tells me she was on this phone call, I'm going to freak out. When her book came out, as a blogger, a certain number of us were invited on a call with Marlo Thomas about her book. And we were all on there and got to talk to her and ask her about this book. And now she's talking about this book. Some things just keep coming back. It's very strange. Life is not random. It's not random at all. 3/12/13. On Mondays with Marlo Thomas speaks with Ariana Huffington. This, along with so many of her interviews, are informative, fun, inspiring. They just make you feel good, actually. I also like her talks with Deepak Chopra, Notice His Flashy Glasses, as well as Dr. Oz, Brooke Shields, Dr. Nancy Snyderman. Here, trying to get a good night's sleep every night, meditating again, being calm on top of what I can be on top of, and letting other stuff take care of itself, or weight, getting stronger, doing weights. I used to say, why lift weights? They're so heavy. But, yeah, balance or not. But at the end of the day, at least the past 10 days should incorporate a large chunk of what I find integral to leading to a me-centric life. As in, it reflects my core beliefs, values, needs, and the needs of those who actually do currently need me. Who knows? I have not bought a gift for my dear friend Kiki, with whom I exchange gifts every year since we were about 7. I did find the perfect thing, but they were sold out. But I may try again. It's March 12th. Her birthday is March 5th. It's not like me to be late, but I don't want to send just anything. This is really actually important to me. It's raining, melting away the remainder, we hope, of snow. Too much this year. Too much winter. Overfilling our cups. But next week, a literal spring, March 20th. Thank God. I think that, let me see if that was her last one that was here. I have to go to her, so it was top secret. Oh, maybe not. 12 is the, let me just make sure. Yeah, that's that for that now. Let me see if there was, get rid of this one. Okay. Who's calling you a troll? Linda Irby's not a troll. My glasses are so freaking dirty. No wonder I can't even read. Who's calling Linda? What's going on? Page 2. What are you talking about, eating healthy? What's Potter talking about? Hi, Evelyn. Page 2? Are you saying that there's a page 2 that I'm missing? I don't think so. Hold on. I didn't get rid of it now. Let me see. Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? This is it? No. Oh no, that's from our, whatchamacallit. Come on. Hold on a sec. Well, I'll go back. I have to pull it up again, but let me just go through this now. Before I couldn't go anywhere else, but I'll check it out. So there was, okay. So when state police went to this was something that said there was some extra little tidbits in here. I don't know. When state police went to Fotis Dulos' Farmington home to arrest him on Tuesday on murder charges, detectives confiscated the axe. We know that. No, I think we went over this one. Let me just see what's somebody. That was the axe. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. We went over that. All right, I'll check if there's a page 2. There was something I wanted to, she had, before I forget, she put where did I see that? I have it here somewhere. A biography of herself, like you put in a blogger thing. I had that here somewhere too. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this was her own biography. Jennifer Dulos is a Farmington resident and mother of 5 children, all 6 and under, twin boys, a twin boy and girl, and a baby girl. Before she was a mom, she was a writer in New York doing journalism, essays, plays, and screenplays, and is currently finishing a novel. She holds a BA from Brown University and a master's in writing from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. She currently blogs at 5make7.com. Where did I have her thing here? Hang on one second. There was an article that she wrote. Hold on one second. Did they take it down? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this is an article she wrote when she was a blogger. This was out there. This was public. An Avon mother of 5 and wife of a builder gets wistful over moving from their temporary home, and the title of it was "Goodbye Charlotte Court." Okay, so now I'm officially a weepy loony. While giving Clea Noel her last nighttime bottle at 5 Charlotte Court, I played for her For me, the Miranda Lambert video of the house that built me. I got misty. Okay, I cried. I thought of how every memory of hers, or for me of her, is associated deeply with this temporary house, and I finally got sad. Bringing her home, they let us out of the hospital after less than 24 hours, after having her up on the 3rd floor with me as Christiane hovered over her new little sister, the first weeks of living through the hardest thing I've ever done, trying to feed her all through the night, again, up on the 3rd floor, and she crying because she wasn't getting enough, because she was tongue-tied. Learning to walk, standing at the base of the stairs in the kitchen, holding on to Beckham, her golden retriever. Basically, he has now become hers. Tossing food to him that she either wants or not, just to commune with him, her twin, her pal, all day long, when the other 4 all leave her and him to go to school. I would sing the song for you here, but that would be awful. But you can go to YouTube and hear it. It's really very hokey, but nice and affecting. I always imagine with songs that somehow I'm this great singing sensation, and I'm playing them at 17 at my high school graduation ceremony for everyone and making them weep, like this song, for instance, but back in 1986. When my father asked me what I'd miss going to college, I told him, "My room, Dad. I'll miss my room." Clea Noel was just put to bed for the last time here before our move. Unless 4 Jefferson, that's Fotis' house, okay? They live there with him, okay? Unless 4 Jefferson sells and we come back like a cat chasing its tail. But for all intents and purposes, let me emotionally hold on to the image of it being so. We had the last dance party, with all the furniture cleared from the living room, and Fotis, my husband, playing Greek party hits, which are actually very stirring and good. The baby was so happy, moving around, clapping and spinning. Christiane had everyone following her moves like a Simon Says Soul Train. Theodore was being a clown, doing ridiculous faces and slanted dancing, his body fully tilted to one side. Meanwhile, Petros and Constantine were wrestling through it like the little boys that they are. Tomorrow we will have more lasts, more goodbyes to the red front door, to the refrigerator, to the kitchen sink. We've done this with the older boys, with every house we've left. Tonight in the tub, they kissed the water and said farewell. Then we high-fived the tile. It will be moving to move. I'm moved. Okay, so this was an article, I think she wrote it, that was written on February 17th, 2012. So it'll be eight years pretty soon. She wrote that 8 years ago. Now let's see. I'm just going to get. I have to see one thing right here. Okay. Come on. She wrote a lot of things. Okay, here's something. Let me see. This is something that. Okay, so it says, Two Shores frame Jennifer Farbos Dulos' life with her husband Fotis. One she believed to be welcoming and safe, having been drawn back into... Oh, I know that there is another blog post because I read it. She's at her mother's house and she wants... There is more of her blog. Okay. One she believed welcoming and safe, having been drawn back into Dulos' life when he reached out to her in 2004 while still married to his first wife. Oh, you see that? It's when they said his first girlfriend. It was. See, that Greek article had a lot of truths in it. The other proved to be a jagged ledge. What happened to Fotis' first wife? The resting place for a marriage shattered by her discovery in March of 2017 of her husband's affair with Argentinian businesswoman Michelle Triconis. In between, according to interviews, her blogs, and court documents reviewed by The Current, she lived what amounted to a third of her life by herself, an increasingly separate and lonely existence within the marriage. She reported serving as the sole parent to her 5 children on the 10 days per month she said her husband was typically traveling. In her writings and court testimony, she expresses a longing for a simpler life, a yearning for the warmth of more female companionship, and a feeling of isolation that flowed from her husband's physical absence, differences in their personalities and parenting styles, and ultimately from his betrayal. Farber Dulos had been marooned on that ledge for 2 years in a contentious divorce and custody battle with Dulos until on May 24th, her footprints disappeared. A month later, Farber Dulos is still missing, and her husband and his girlfriend face charges of evidence. Okay, that's well beyond, but we don't need to hear that. We want to just hear if we've heard anything different about her writing. Okay, here's what we want. For many of the 13 years of their marriage, there was an outward calm. Dulos and Farber Dulos had made an enviable couple. She, with a writer's sensibilities, introverted but with the capacity for boundless love. He, flashy and fiercely competitive, highly successful for a time in the fickle, competitive real estate business. Farber Dulos, now 50, wrote that she enjoyed lifestyle authors Gretchen Rubin and Cheryl Richardson. Her husband, 51, was into Game of Thrones and 3 book sets on the fall of the Byzantine Empire. In 2012, after living in Canton and Avon, they stepped up to the 15,000 square foot mansion at 4 Jefferson Crossing in Farmington that Dulos designed, according to court records. Once valued at $4 million, the house was the stuff of center spreads in glossy architectural magazines. Dulos built for the 1% and pursued the same lifestyle. Dulos and his company, 4 Group Inc., were well known for the lushly designed mansions in the Farmington Valley, and he aspired to establish a strong presence in Fairfield County. The couple's bountiful family, 5 children in 7 years, tempered the opulence and opened avenues for Farber Dulos' school volunteer, blogger, purveyor, and consumer of the latest parenting tips, master of the drop-off and the pickup when all 5 children were in school together. The kids were involved variously in ballet, art class, music, Lego club, swimming, soccer, tennis, ice skating, hockey, horseback riding, snow skiing, and water skiing. By the time they were 6, under Dulos' tutelage, the 2 oldest boys were ranked nationally in their age group in water skiing, according to court records. There were family vacations in Aspen, Greece, and Florida. On these occasions, Jennifer was often energetic and engaged, snow skiing in Colorado, taking water skiing lessons in Athens, and presiding over the pleasantly chaotic family lunches that anchored many of those days, according to a friend who vacationed with the family. She has always been a force to be reckoned with by many measures. An athlete in her teens in New York City, she was a nationally ranked squash player, her family said, a gifted scholar. She earned honors at one of the top universities and a master's in fine arts from another. She never put on airs, and she isn't afraid to show a goofy side. Her default position, her family said, is one of subtle hilarity and a deeply ingrained genuineness, compassionate, and trustworthiness. While the couple employed a nanny and a cleaning woman, Farber Dulos remained hands-on, according to her online blogs. She wrote on March 22, 2013, while in Florida with the family, that she enjoyed doing 6 loads of laundry in a day. At home, she had a writer's studio on the 3rd floor of the mansion. She was active with the alumni group at Brown University, interviewing and mentoring prospective female students, and she was working on a book. But there was turbulence underneath. In the blogs, Farber Dulos wrote that she was perfectly cut out for being a mother, that she viewed motherhood as a calling, and that her children were a constant source of gratification. And in those same blog entries, she is often supportive of her husband when she mentions him. But she reveals a longing for another kind of existence, the simplicity and devotion of monastery life, for example, or the warm embrace of a sisterhood of brilliant, creative women. She also expresses a loneliness and a yearning for vibrancy of her high school and post-college single life in New York City, of the time in the early 2000s before her marriage, when she took up residence in Colorado by herself, knowing no one. 7 or 8 years into their 13-year marriage, she hints in blog entries at a feeling of emptiness in certain aspects of her life. She seemed to withdraw when Fotis was around and became quieter, says Rona Marie Giuliano, a close friend who vacationed with the couple in Aspen in Greece. I think she chose to remain behind him in the background instead of by his side. Dulos, still a competitive water skier, was gone an average of 10 days a month. Farber Dulos later testified during divorce proceedings, adding that the family's entire lives revolved around his sport. Hearing transcripts say, when he was home, the separateness didn't entirely vanish. Farber Dulos didn't have a day-to-day role in the foregroup, which occupied a 25,000 square foot wing of their Farmington home, separated from the living area by a door. The office would be a hive of activity when a deal was in the making. Farber Dulos' life was on the other side of that door. Her husband painted a different picture of the growing isolation and their deepening rift, testifying in court, she's an introvert. She's up in a writer's studio. She has absolutely nothing to do with the kids, court transcripts say. Everything she did and aspired to do as a wife and a mother stands in stark opposition to that assessment. We know Jennifer as a devoted mother, a dedicated member of our parent community, and an active volunteer, said Erin Cooper, head of the New Canaan Country School. Over the last 2 years, she has had a daily presence on campus, and her kindness and warmth have been palpable to everyone who has come into contact with her. Her family said in a statement on Friday that Farber Dulos delighted in learning about other people and has imbued that into her 5 children who love with this love of discovery. She cares about her children far more than anything in the world. She testified during divorce proceedings, but she was also quietly suffering. She testified during divorce proceedings. She had been seeing a psychiatrist, and she was dealing with depression and stress, and she was on antidepressant medication. She said her father's illness and death contributed to her darkening mood. She admitted that she had driven her SUV while taking medications and had gotten into an accident. She was alone in the vehicle and was not injured. You have a serious issue, correct? Asked her husband's lawyer.
Yes, I'm not allowed to be frivolous.
Asked her husband's lawyer, Alan Rome, in a June 2017 hearing. I don't categorize it that way, Farber Dulos responded. Her blogs reveal that she maintained a close relationship with her parents, Hillard and Gloria Farber, and viewed their home in Pound Ridge as a sometimes refuge for her and the children. Hillard Farber, a banker, broker, and hedge fund founder, had fronted Fotis Dulos' millions of dollars over the years for mortgages and land acquisitions, enabling Dulos to sidestep red tape and more easily leverage other financing. After Farber's death in January of 2017, the flow of funds ceased, and Dulos, according to a lawsuit by Hillard Farber's estate, stopped repaying the loans. Dulos now owes $2.5 million, the lawsuit states. And then in March of 2017, Farber Dulos discovered her husband's affair with Draconis, 44. She later gathered up the children, moved to a rental home in New Canaan, hired bodyguards, and filed for divorce in June of 2017 to cut off Dulos' contact with the children. It was then that she began to fear him, she testified. As a child, Farber Dulos lived with her family in an iconic Fifth Avenue apartment building near the graceful arches of Washington Square Park in Greenwich Village. In blog entries, she recalls loving the music of the Beatles, the Cars, the Clash, the Cure, Talk Talk, and of Bob Dylan and Joan Baez, and songwriter, political activist Phil Ochs, whose suicide left an impression on her. She writes of a close-knit group of friends that defined her high school years in New York City, the hours and hours spent in the Columbia Heights bedroom of one of her girlfriends, the jaunts to the olive tree in the village, drinking sangria at age 15, her fascination with Jennifer Beals and Flashdance, her early crushes, Madonna's first record album. I told Fotis that I miss having this core group of friends I had growing up and yearned for it. Even Farber Dulos wrote in her February 22nd, which we read, I think, blog entry, and maybe we didn't read this one, entry, yearning for female friends. After graduating high school in 1987, she was accepted to Brown University. She wrote, no, it was in 1986, and they've got this wrong. She was accepted to Brown University. She wrote, we did read this one, that her father asked her what she would miss the most about her life in New York City. My bedroom, Dad, she answered. In her first week in Providence, she met Fotis Dulos. They went their separate ways after college. She returned to New York City. She earned a master's degree from New York University's Tisch School of the Arts. She became involved in a theater group and pursued her writing. In 1999, she drove across the country with her beloved dog, Sophie, a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, on her lap. They stopped in Vegas. They celebrated in Los Angeles. In 2000, she and Sophie moved to Colorado, knowing no one, but knowing it was where I needed to be. She said that Sophie died at 8 years old, 2 years before Fotis re-entered my life. Farber Dulos blogged that their paths crossed at the airport in Aspen in 2003, and serendipity cast its spell. This man, whom I'd met the first week of college and befriended back then, this man I'd always liked. We had a special chemistry together, always something special and precious, and we were careful to be careful with one another until lightning finally struck. In January of 2004, still married, he emailed her. Dulos, who had earned a master's degree from Columbia University, reported he was living near her in downtown New York City, had been looking for her and wanted to get together. In July of 2004, he was divorced from his first wife, Hillary. Oh, that's where they got Hillary. Hillary Aldama. Okay. A month later, in August of 2004, Jennifer Farber and Fotis Dulos were, that's funny, Hillard and Hillard, were married, okay? Fotis is Dulos' oh, we can read about his first. Okay, hang on. We got to read something else first. The distance grows. Tucked behind a large self-storage facility on Old Farms Road is Avon. In Avon is a private water skiing pond that has a reputation that belies its quiet setting. A former quarry, it boasts dimensions and conditions that are apparently perfect for a slalom pass and for jumping practice. For years, the pond has attracted world-class competitors and budding young skiers. If he was in Farmington and it was the weekend, Fotis Dulos and the two oldest boys were usually at the pond. At times, Dulos would have with him a water ski coach from Greece who helped train the boys. For Farber Dulos, it began to symbolize how much she differed from her husband. It's also misty and rainy and foggy, not the best pond day ever, Farber Dulos wrote in a May 6, 2012 blog entry, though I myself will readily admit that it's not my favorite body of water in the world, and it's muddy. And then there's this porta potty, and we'll basically go and ski and get a touch of sun and then come back home. Would he know I would operate around it? Would be. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Would be how I would operate around it, and I do. In a courtroom 5 years later, fighting Dulos for custody of all 5 children, Farber Dulos had a chillier view of the pond. And do you go to the pond to watch the kids? Her lawyer, Eric Broder, asked Farber Dulos on the witness stand on June 27, 2017, at a hearing. I normally do not, because I feel that they are suffering, Farber Dulos responded, adding that she felt that at least one of the boys wanted to do other things. She said that she felt the intensity of the water skiing workouts were contributing to the boys' deepening depression. She testified that she was also upset over her husband's increasingly independent lifestyle. In the last year, how often has your husband traveled? Broder asked at the hearing. I believe he's away at least 10 days every month. And what are the purposes of those travels? The lawyer asked. He travels for water ski competition. He travels to snow ski. He travels for his own pleasure. He goes back to Greece to see his friends and for pleasure, not for work, Farber Dulos responded. She testified that she discovered his affair with Troconis, who had been living in Miami. Dulos proposed moving the girlfriend and her daughter into their Farmington home. With you there? Asked the Superior Court Judge Thomas Collin. In a related court filing, Farber Dulos went on to explain the plan. My husband informed me that he decided to move Michelle Troconis and her daughter into the marital home and enrolled Troconis' daughter in the private school that our children had attended for the last 2 years. He informed me that our children and I will continue to reside in the marital home every weekend during the summer so that we all, his paramour and her daughter included, would be together. He also informed me that he will come and go from my mother's residence whenever he wants during the week. Essentially, he expects to exhibit complete control over me and the children. Farber Dulos said that in those days before she moved with the children to New Canaan, he had chased her twice, though she said he didn't put a hand on her. I'm afraid of my husband, she said in a court filing. He is dangerous and ruthless when he believes that he's about to be wronged. During the course of our marriage, he told me about sickening revenge fantasies and plans to cause physical harm to others who have wronged him. In his response, Dulos denies the allegations and said his wife is presently taking medication for mental health issues. He said the physical safety and emotional health of the children are of the utmost importance to him. He described himself as an active, engaged father. Years earlier, in a March 12, 2012 blog, Farber Dulos said that she longed for more courage and less conflict. I wish I were a strong person, and that confrontation did not both scare and appall me. She goes on to say that the idea of living the life of a monk is attractive to her. They are so very lucky, monks. They are the same gender. They don't have to worry about misunderstandings that could arise in opposite-sex relationships. As a monk, it would just be you, your single bed, and an overrun of prayer time. She said, hold on a sec. Now I got another freaking pop-up here. No, I'm not interested to get this out of here. Okay, that one went. She said she would have been happy to wear a brown, scratchy sack, wake up early, take a vow of silence, and slowly pace narrow halls for the honor of the Lord. Then she sees the folly of the plan. But I'd be without my baby, she says of her youngest daughter. She said that feeding her, bathing her, and having her fall asleep in her arms are the most cherished moments of her life. Barbara Dulos' family members have said they remain hopeful for her safe return as an international audience hangs on media reports about Barbara Dulos' disappearance. Police have seized vehicles, phones, laptops. Okay. None of this feels real. Family spokesman Carrie Luft wrote on Friday, "We tell ourselves that this kind of nightmare happens to people in stories, not to people we know and love. But the situation is real. It's dire. Each passing day intensifies the impact of this tragedy on Jennifer's children who have not seen their mother, the guiding presence in their lives in 28 days. The family expressed immense gratitude for the ongoing work of the New Canaan and State Police, and the Farmington, Avon, and New Canaan area communities have buoyed our spirits with their support and solidarity." Now there is something about Fotis and his first marriage is over here. Let me see. Fotis' first marriage to Hillary Aldama. Hold on a second. Ended quickly and amicably. Can't speak tonight. Before Fotis, Dulos married Jennifer, whose disappearance had led to felony charges against Dulos and his girlfriend. He had wed a woman named Hillary, Vanessa Aldama. Like Dulos, she was a graduate of Brown University. Dulos and Aldama, now a lawyer in Shreveport, Louisiana, were married in Athens, Greece in June of 2000. 4 years later, the couple was divorced. Coming to terms on the house at 10 Sunrise Drive in Canton, the furnishing, the cars, and any other jointly owned property records show. They were officially divorced on July 12th, 2004. The records show on August 28th, 2004. Fotis and Jennifer were married. Wow. Barbara Dulos also went to Brown University. Hillary Aldama and Fotis Dulos had no children. Their marriage had broken down irretrievably, but it was a no-fault divorce with no finger-pointing or blame in the record. In contrast, Fotis and Jennifer Barbara Dulos are locked in a bitter divorce and a battle for the couple's 5 children, who are now living in New York City. Jennifer Barbara Dulos' mother has sued for custody of the children. Fotis Dulos, charged with evidence tampering and hindering prosecution, is jailed with bail set at $500,000. Girlfriend Michelle Troconis, charged with the same offenses, has been released after her parents helped to post her bond. Fotis Dulos' visitation privileges with the children have been revoked. That is all. Hillary Aldama did not return a voicemail in order to give her side of this. Now a lawyer with a decade of experience and the mother of twins. That's crazy, isn't it? She has twins too. Aldama volunteers in the Shreveport community. Her focus is on issues that affect and empower women, according to a 2015 biographical sketch in a City Life magazine. She was chosen as one of the area's women of greatness and was up for an award recognizing prominent women. After Brown University, she graduated from the University of Texas School of Law. That's all there is about that, I think. Let me see. See what this one says. All right, let me go see if because there was another article, I remember that one. Oh my gosh, what was that? Oh, my pen. Oh, gosh. right, so let me see. I'm just trying to find where my... I found it now. Okay, finally. All right, so it's page 2, you say now? Stupid pop-up is still here. Going down at the bottom. So I never look at the bottom part. Okay, eating more healthily, thanks. Okay, so 3, 18, 13. So in time, we do get to things. Eventually, the baby, soon to be 2.5, more time, space, more me, all around it seems, even Fotis, said that I don't have to knock myself out to be some advancing water skier. I can just ski without pressure, enjoy it, not get hurt. Amen to that. So here in Florida, on a water ski trip with the boys, I have happily jogged over 5 miles twice, but nary a ski set. Yet, because someone tells you don't have to do something, guess what? You kind of want to. I watched Marlo Thomas interview Martha Stewart last night. Highly insanely, as if she were 4 CEO-ish people capable, but I had organically, not to use any sort of pun here, began navigating my way towards feeding our family more healthy fare. I used to feel pressured, but I don't like when I slack, and we consume too much starch. Nor do they even like this. I see in Greece how they embrace fish, chicken, salads, fruits, etc. I see how it pleases them, and me, and us, as this does matter to Fotis. No one wants to be a nag. And I see how he stepped away from nagging me about most things. I still need to settle down. I guess when he encourages the boys to wrestle, but yeah, sure, I get it. And sans the nag at all. I want to do it. The clearing or space that exists when no one is demanding anything from you can really make one feel expansive, large of heart, open to the possibility of taking on a new task or one's own design, accord and in alliance with your soul, not to get too crazy, but if it organically derives from you, it's your idea basically, why sure, you're in. If anyone has any recipes to share, mostly for dinners, I would eat them all up. Get it? I want to obtain the perfect lentil soup recipe. So do I. My father had it. They never had recipes. A perfect chicken. I just asked my cousin for it the other day because she has it. I've got to see if she got me back. And some fish. Sorry, I went off on that. And other such dishes, and any which include vegetables, are not fried, are easy enough for the less skilled among us to figure out. Have a good day. 3/22/2013. So we came down to Florida with the boys for 6 days, leaving today. They all skied. Fotis is doing great, becoming the best skier he could at this point in his life. His technique has dramatically improved since working with Chet Rayleigh, the best water ski coach in the world pretty much, and it's a bit of an honor to get his attention. Theodore is skiing the course, no small feat for a not yet 7-year-old. Petros is getting there, as he started out the session behind Theodore, but he will catch up. Here, it's been relaxing. I've gotten to run 5 or so more miles each morning, which I so love, around this loop here twice. I have had the time to talk on the phone with my dad, to collect, or even to have thoughts, to enjoy housekeeping. That's far more manageable with just the 4 of us and this smallish home. I do laundry probably 6 times a day, which I love. I go to the CVS and to the supermarket as needed. There is a mall less than 5 minutes away. You practically roll out of bed and you fall into it. So I've replenished a bit of Sephora, Victoria's Secret, sweats from Abercrombie and Hollister. It's a nice, pleasant, calm, low-key life. Yesterday, it was just too low-key, and I sort of bottomed out all the time. Space and expansiveness. Totally missed the younger 3 and felt a deep need to just be home already. Christiane has a cough. The baby grows by the second. Constantine needs our love and attention and appreciation. There I am needed. Here Fotis is really giving the boys such a treat. His undivided time and attention and care. He has taught them both risk and monopoly. They ski all day, every day. They get his immediate input and see what it means to be a man, or a boy, age almost 7. Soon is 7. Petros did not let me kiss him as I put him in the car today. So I kissed my pointer finger and I touched his knee. A la E.T. Theodore. A la E.T. Theodore, I gave a big hug to this morning as he was waking up and shaking off the sleep. We have eaten out at Bruzy's Burgers, Abe and Louis Steak, Sushi Yama, Victorio's in Meisner Court, pasta, and today who knows? I keep eating dry cereal here at the house. I have a new goal. No Diet Coke until 12 noon. I am up to 1 p.m. Like an alcoholic, not drinking before 10 a.m. Yes, this is me and my Diet Coke addiction. I have given it up for Lent in the past. Maybe I will squeak away from it. I upped my water intake. So today while jogging, I saw this family of gorgeous ducklings, a mama, daddy, and their 5 babies. Not unlike us, save for the beaks. 4/16/2013, can't sleep. I am up, it's 3 a.m. I'm visiting my parents overnight as I have some early morning appointments in New York before I head back to Connecticut. I am in this bunk room where the boys sleep when here. Water makes this sound from the adjacent bath every 4 minutes. I didn't want to come halfway here last night. I wanted to be eating a cheeseburger with Fotis at this new place that opened next to the TCBY that Petra so loves. You can get 1,200 different toppings if you like. Just the option of having options. They say you are only as happy as your least happy child. I want to improve upon my relationship with Petros. So much of our time together is me correcting his behaviors, like trash talking as siblings. laughing at a disabled person, being morning pissed off about something. I am not getting enough time to enjoy the wonderful person he is. Caring, needy, a teacher to his younger siblings, highly perceptive and attuned. I'm tired and I would love to sleep. I wish there was some personal on-off switch, or you could program yourself to say 7.5 hours of uninterrupted slumber. I will jog at 6, yeah. Watched YouTube sensation Jenna Marbles. Read some of Gretchen Rubin's Happier at Home, reports on Boston Marathon, limbs lost, lives. I want to be home, warm with my husband, my sleeping children, the cats and dog. I will be tomorrow afternoon if I ever get back to sleep. 4/22/2013. On Saturday, the boys turned 7. For me, 5 was equivalent to 18, 6 was 21, so here we are. We are really dealing with their 25th birthdays. Alas, I lived. They thrived. Ice cream cups for their class on Friday, you know, the ones that are individually sized, half chocolate, half vanilla, with the wooden spoons. I sang Goodbye 6-year-olds to the tune of Goodbye Norma Jean or Candle in the Wind. It was all very brilliant as I was making it up for them on their ride to school. Now I cannot remember how it went. Goodbye 6 years old, thought I never knew you at all. You had the grace to hold yourself when the toddlers around you crawled. And it seems to me you lived your year like a candle on that cake, never knowing who to cling to when 7 set in. And I would have liked to have known you, but I was just your mom. It was pretty horrendous, as you can tell. They got a basketball hoop. Theodora had shot 23 baskets as of yesterday morning. It's pretty high. My father wants to sneakily lower it, and inch by inch, so no one will notice and they can build their self-esteem, making more shots. We went to dinner at Fleming's, where Petros wanted to go. We went fancy. CNC came. They behaved brilliantly, of course. The boys, not so much, because Uncle Mark came, and they all trash-talked each other throughout the meal. When someone was not skateboarding on the sidelines upon one of the new skateboards he got them. These scare me, but maybe it's okay to go slowly on our very flat parking area. 7. They still hug, if not kiss. Lots of sentimental stuff is a joke with them. They still need and want us, our attention, our company. I think if you make it known that you want to spend your free time with them, they'll feel it, and later in life will want to spend more of theirs with you. Despite girls, despite skateboards, despite what comes after 25. And then there was let's see, baby Batman. She put a picture, and you'll recognize this. Those of you that watched an interview with Fotis, because this is in his house. Back in let me see what day it had to be. It was 4/22/2013. So 6 years. You will remember this piece right here. He sits in front of that and does an interview. Okay, that's the house in Farmington that he was arrested at. So that must be the baby who's then like almost 3, right? Okay. So then 4/25/2013, today on Diane von Furstenberg's Spring 2013 Girls Collection for Gap appeared. There's so many gorgeous, bright, happy items. They sell out quickly. I don't know what she was, so please refer to the link below. Get some dresses and tops for Christiane and Clea Noel, reasonably priced, slightly different from what they normally wear, more upbeat all around. Okay, and then 5/7/2013. So this is just about 6 years from when it happened. The past glorious weekend in Connecticut was our Greek Easter. It came pretty late this year, which was good weather-wise. Our Aunt Martha and Uncle Alex came up as our tradition. Aunt Martha helps prepare food, and Alex helps Fotis roast the whole lamb, and it would not be Greek Easter without them. The kids got Easter baskets, my notions of a U.S. commercial holiday. About 2 years ago, I think it was Theodore who noted, so the Easter Bunny shops at the Gap, You see, each year they get spring, summer pajamas. They get flip-flops, one chocolate bunny, the fake grass that mitigates everywhere. They also get fake tin lunchboxes with Spider-Man or Hello Kitty or Star Wars designs, which no one uses, and they just pile up. How come we don't get as much as Christmas? Theodore asked this year. Because it's Easter, was my brilliant reply. We had friends join in. The outside looked great. Kids were on the playscape or the soccer field or rummaging the outdoor fridge or freezer for self-serve juice. That's why their swing set is still at that house. Boxes, ice cream sandwiches, and cones. I think it's the self-serve aspect plus the vague contraband loot of it all. So this was the you just hit. Next year, I'll put out all the food we have and not forget the watermelons. I'll get 3 cakes from DiCapo's. I'll do more salads. I'll do more sides and prettier nibble fare. Next year, I will set the table a month in advance and really make a splash. Next year, it coincides with the U.S. Easter, April 20th, so no one will be able to come, except for Alex and Martha, and these 2 amazing women who we know who are excellent servers and also Muslim. It will also be the boys' 8th birthdays that day. But the year after that, then, if I can commit these notes to memory, in Greece they say Christos Anesti, Christ has risen, as a greeting for the days following Easter. This reply is Alithos Anesti. Indeed, he has risen. Yes, indeed. Okay. Then she has Marina Krim and her husband Kevin announced that she is expecting a boy in the fall. Hope Springs Eternal is the name of this. Her pregnancy is a huge ray of hope in the family's healing after the gut-wrenching events of last fall. Her surviving child, Nessie, is reportedly doing well. I bet you this is someone from Newtown. Where there is love, there is hope. And then on 5/18/13, how to mother oneself right out of your own nest. In Cheryl Richardson's recent newsletter, she wrote that you know you're doing a good job mothering when you stop making excuses for doing what you want to do. You let your desire be enough. You choose to disappoint someone else now and then instead of disappointing yourself. You tell yourself, I love you on a regular basis so that you start to believe it deep in your bones. You feed yourself. You ask yourself what you want directly rather than beat around the bush. You ask for what you want directly instead of beating around the bush. You stop pretending everything's okay when it's not. You tell the truth. You speak up when you have something to say, even if you might not say it well. You no longer defend, debate, or explain your decisions. You trust your choices and let your inner guidance run the show. I sort of sigh a deep amen to all of the above. I am trying to do at least one thing for me each week, which really honors the Jennifer I am and have always been. Last week, it was making some time to see my friend Caroline one night. We talked for 3 hours, and it still wasn't enough. This weekend, I am meeting my friend Laurel for iced tea near her weekend home. I got tickets for Pippin, the Broadway musical I saw in the 1st grade. Way too racy for me then, but I loved it. And the score and I really just want to re-experience it. Fotis saw how into the revival I am and is going along, even if he really very much does not like Broadway musicals at all. I want to go to China, if only for the longest weekend that ever was. See Beijing, Shanghai, and the Great Wall. The tickets are the same cost as going to Paris or to Rome, so why not? I want to honor the urges as much as possible. To be alive, to speak up, to exist. To, as hokey as it sounds, do the bucket list as if it's in formation, even if it changes, to keep on being aware of what it is, what it even is. Diane Conway wrote a book called What Would You Do If You Had No Fear? I am dipping in. I like how provocative she is, really pulling at you to dare to ask, what would you do? 5/18/2013, catch up if you can. So I neglected the cute, meaningful, or outlandish things the kids say. And I need to catch up, or they will just vanish into the ether. Christiane, age 4, in the car on the way to school, saying, "So, Mommy, was the world in God's tummy?" Creationism. Number 2, Constantine, age 4. In Angela's class, when one student was making a birthday card for his mom, another asked him how old she'd be, and the kid thought and said 7. But then Constantine burst in, "No, she couldn't be 7. That's impossible." And they all tried to figure it out. 3, our kids wanting to know what their names would have been had they been born the opposite sex. Petros or Theodore would have been Laura, and then Christiane would have been Alexandros. If she were, then Cleo Noel would have been Philippos, and we decided that Constantine, Princess Jasmine. Cleo Noel, 2.5, keeps telling everyone that she can only have one dessert, not 2 desserts after dinner. Theodore, 7, after his birthday, saying that it was the worst day ever because he had to wait an entire year for his next birthday party. 7, at McDonald's drive-thru, getting 2 vanilla cones, me and tea, and 1 plain sundae for Petros. The plain was just soft vanilla ice cream in a plastic cup, and that was it. Nothing. "How is this a sundae?" Petros laughed it off and screamed to the people going in, not getting duped into ordering what he just had. Okay, and then this one, this is 5/29/2013, we had a long anti-war folk singer, Phil, I think it is Oakes, I don't know, I think I've playing in our beach house growing up. We listened to Dylan, Joan Baez, Judy Collins, and Joni Mitchell. The album we had of his was Ain't Marchin' Anymore. I recently watched a 2010 documentary on his life, There But for Fortune. It was as much a history of the movement based out of Greenwich Village, New York, as it was about the man. He took his own life after the battle had been too long won. After Nixon had pulled out of Vietnam, peace with honor, after he had brought attention to the CIA American involvement in the overthrow of the Allende People's elected government of Chile, and after the new regime had rounded up all the poets radicals, the Greenwich Village equivalent within Chile, in a stadium and shot them, he wrote protest songs for his beloved President Kennedy, songs about the killings of Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., the massacre at Kent State, the lynchings before and during the civil rights movement. He was a political artist, as art for the purpose of politics, change. He wanted America to be better, for us all to be heroes, like a John Wayne movie. He wanted the radicalized youth to have their day. The documentary brings that time to life. All the folks we know of appear, now older, Tom Hayden, Joan Baez, Abby Hoffman. They fought the fight. They were a voice of movement, one that led to LBJ not seeking re-election in 1968. They declared the war over far before it was, just to inspire how that would feel like. After Phil had fought what was out there, he was left to face himself, a company he could not keep. And that's the end of what there is there to read of her, but it does give you a good look at her and the other stuff at their marital life, which is important to know, though some people would argue. But let me see what... Yeah, Margie, right? So I'm just trying to... I haven't seen your chat in an age. And I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. Did not say my glasses. I'm going to have to... Jimmy washes my glasses really good. He washes everybody gives Jimmy... Well, everybody. Me and Luke. And he really takes pride. And he if you came over and you'd be like, you had glasses and he'd be like, oh, let me wash those for you. He really likes to do that stuff. It's not like a chore to him. He loves to do it. And he knows that he does it better than anyone. It's very strange. So if you have glasses and you come over, give him to Jimmy and he'll wash them for you. But he really has to do mine. I feel like there is a film so bad that I can't see. And I don't know whether, I think it is better with them off. Really, it is, because these are like these are the, for the blue lights. You like the New York City stories? So I know there's like times that I can't even read. I'm missing stuff, and probably because I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? I can't even, I'm telling you, I can't see tonight. Either am I going blind? I don't know. 4:59 is that? Is that 4:59? I can't even see it. There's something wrong. I think I need to change my contacts. Bubba, I am a sleuth at heart. Lisa, are you feeling up to setting a date and time for decoupage? Bella, you will for sure sit there with an open mouth. $5 a.m. Okay. 5 a.m. That is really interesting reading. He likes to do that stuff. That's the thing. It's, you know how like if, say you wash glasses really good, but like you're sick, like you don't want, like sometimes I don't even want to make my own cup of coffee. How bad is that? How bad is that? That's pretty damn bad, isn't it? You got to be like pretty unmotivated or lazy or something to say, I don't even want to make my cup of coffee. Like you won't even maybe have it because you don't even feel like making the damn thing. Sometimes I get like that. Okay, but Sharon's gonna drink. But I don't know. It's crazy. It's silly. I don't know. But so say I did something really good, like I don't know, maybe I washed glasses really good if I did eyeglasses. But then when everybody's clamoring at you to wash the glasses, it'd be like, okay, why did I have to be so good at the glass washing, right? The glasses. You understand? You're the glasses washer. You like it too? Oh, really, Lisa? Yeah. So I guess maybe, I don't like it. Like I'll do anything not to have to clean my glasses. Everyone. So if somebody was like giving, I'd be like, oh my gosh, why do I have to be the glass washer? But he really likes it. Like he would get up, like he could be sitting down watching TV and I can't see out of these glasses. He'd like give it to me. I'm going to go wash them. He really likes to do it. And Luke likes him. Like, did you? And he'll be like, Luke, because sometimes he'll do Luke's glasses at night when Luke's sleeping, and then he'll want Luke to tell him how clean and well he can see when he puts them on in the morning. Yeah, to Scooter. You define myself, make. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like, because I said it to myself this morning, I swear to you. When I came down, I said, oh, I have to make coffee and toast. Like it was some big freaking thing that I had to make coffee and toast. And I'm just like, it's a Keurig. It's not like I'm even making like a whole pot of coffee. It's just sometimes, well, how much do I need that? Yeah, I'll make that coffee. It just seems like sometimes it just seems crazy. And then I actually said to myself, how freaking lazy can you be that and I talked myself into it. Then you had to butter the toast. Bad, isn't it? That required getting a knife and then getting a dish. Yeah, there's times I have coffee in cans. Don't laugh at Sarah. There's times when I'm just like, coffee in a can? That sounds okay. I even have they sent me these coffee bars or something. It says like eat your coffee when you can't make coffee. The effort, a lot of effort in that. Well, don't feel bad for Mawini's wife. Feel lucky for her because she could be like Jennifer. She was going to be like she was going before Jennifer. She was going to be gone. So feel happy for her that she escaped sudden death. Is it worth all those flipping crumbs? And think of the energy you'll save not making the toast. I really thought like, you do sometimes double shots. Not every day do I feel that. Just some days. It's like because you have so much going on. That's what happens. I've got so much to do that it's like just taking that time out. I don't have the patience. That's what it is. I think it's that more than lazy. My mind is going 80 miles an hour. And I'm thinking like, I haven't opened my Mommy Ramblings mail. They're going to be mad at me. I picked winners for a contest and I let them know and I haven't gotten back to them. But it's going like that. And I don't have time for the coffee. I can't even wait for it. Then you have to open the wrapper. Oh my goodness. You're dozing off. So were they all friends? Noreen who? Who, Noreen? Oh, no. Mawini said that he hadn't even, because he was Fotis' civil attorney he didn't know Jennifer. He was in the bank, with the thing going back and forth with her parents. You know what I mean? So he was not a friend of them. Wake up. Yeah, wake up. You know about wake up? Okay. They are your favorite? I have a cabinet of them. I should start eating them then, right? They used to send me this other thing. It was so good. It was like these bars. They were kind of like fig bars, but they were breakfast bars. And I forget the company. Did a big giveaway. And the lady told me when she got the giveaway, they sent her like a year supply or something. She said, Carolyn, they didn't send me like 2 cases or whatever it was. She's like, they sent me like a freaking year supply. So she was like tickled pink. She was going to bring some stuff down like to a whole bunch of people, but I forget what the name of them was. They were really, really good. Celebrate the moment. That had, really, that, I don't think that was random either. That had a lot of things in it, really, because I will tell you something that resonates with me. And I will tell you, some people get mad at me, okay? And this is for all of you people that get mad at me. And some people do get mad at me. They say, Carolyn, I sent you a freaking email, okay? You couldn't answer me? They don't even understand. Some days I've never been inundated with email the way I am since I have this channel. Because I have a whole thing of my blog mail, and then I have a whole thing of this mail. And I don't think anybody understands really the volume of mail that comes in. I really don't. So I've had people get mad at me. I'm serious, mad at me. And say to me, I guess I don't matter anymore. I'm telling you, just throw their hands up. And what they said tonight, what they said in that thing, I haven't even gotten into my Mommy Ramblings mail, which is so bad. And I'll tell you why it's so bad, because I have sponsorships and things in there, and I don't even get to that, okay? And then every time I try to get to it, I get to it maybe a few times a week if I'm lucky. I used to be on it constantly and have everything done. Now the further you get from it, the day you miss, it gives you severe anxiety to go open it up because you've either missed something or somebody's waiting on you saying, didn't you get that article? I want to buy this sponsored post or whatever it is, and I've got to get to it. Anyway, but this is important because what they say, there are some people that are very, very needy people, okay? And I deal with this More so, not on my blog. I didn't deal with this on my blog. I had people, they were in giveaways, they were this. I had cheaters that I had to deal with in times. But I never got, I just think because this video blogging is so much more intimate, if you will, that's why it never happened. But I've run into people that are extremely, extremely needy. And I don't think it's their fault, but I think they don't understand the amount of emails I get. So I've had people say, I thought that I was important to you. And I'm serious. I thought I was. I sent you an email 2 days ago and you haven't even handed me a response. And then I sent you a follow-up, and I've had people that have thrown their hands up and said, that's it. I thought you were a nice person. You're not. They think you're intentionally not getting to their email. And if there's anything I can impress on them, it's definitely not that. But what that one of those blog posts she had shows you that, because here's the other thing, and I'll tell you, here's another life lesson. It's those clingers, right? Sometimes you go out of your way, constantly stroking those kind of people, right? Stroking them, because you don't want anything to happen to them. You know that maybe there's something going on in their life. Maybe they're extremely lonely. Maybe, whatever it is. So you try to always calm them down. But then you notice that sometimes you could do that for a long time. And they are the first person that turns around on you and turns like that. And you say, wow, they didn't even reach out to me. They didn't even call me. They didn't even text me. They just turned on me like that. They just, whatever it is, either somebody says something or you can't get back to them in time, and then they figure you're a crap person and you have it out for them and you hate them, and they just, and then you say, oh my gosh, do you know how many, you think about the minutes that you spent talking that person off a ledge, and then that person just, they never cared about it. It's so superficial. But it happens to me all the time, right, Lisa? It happens to me all the time. I'll worry about someone like that, oh my gosh, I would come down if I went to bed and thought about, oh my gosh, I didn't answer so-and-so's email. She's going to think something. I would come down and answer the email only to have that person 4 months later just flip on you. So reading that, what they said, that you've got to stop. And if somebody, don't be afraid to disappoint someone. And if they can't take it and they don't know that you're not disappointing them because you're just a mean person, but just because you can't do it, then you're going to lose relationships. And that hit home with me. That it's okay, that we take it as sometimes losing a relationship, like whatever it is, a friendship. Sometimes it's more freeing in the end, because when these people take all of our energy and we've got to worry that, oh my gosh, I didn't get back to somebody, they're going to freak. They're really not a friend. So, but I think that the hardest thing is, like somebody said, but I just sent you one email. Couldn't you look at it? It's like, yeah, but then there's like this big thing I'm supposed to go through and I don't have the time. And sometimes it's like a lot of anxiety. Sounds mental. Yeah, Earth Angel. I think it is. I think the people, I don't know, they're very, 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 very needy. Yeah, I know, kindness cake. So that's why, like, I really get hurt when I think, like, of people that have over, a period of time that I've really gone out of my way for, and they just flip on you. Oh, no, see, don't take it that way, April Sunset. No. Don't take it that way. You can still email me, but just know that If I don't get back to you, like sometimes I don't even, unfortunately, if it's something important, I don't care if you say to me, hey, I sent you something, no rush on getting back, just want to make sure you saw it or whatever it is. But it's just, don't get mad at me or think that like I'm purposely ignoring your email if I don't get to something. You know what I mean? Because I'm not doing that. Like I'm not purposely saying, oh, there's that so-and-so emailing me again. It's not going to be like that. It's just like poor Evie. Like sometimes I don't have the time. Here's the thing. This is so bad. Ask anybody that talks to text. Talk to text is the easiest way for me to get something out. But my phone doesn't do a good job of recognizing my voice. And you can ask Bella Mac. The other day, I said something, and it came across when I didn't even look at what it was, because I'm just so... I say a whole bunch of stuff in the phone, and I push send. And then I looked at it, and it said something really almost pornographic. That was not anything. And I tell people, close your eyes and say it. If I send you a talk to text and it doesn't sound right, you have to just close your eyes and say it and think, what does this sound like in Carolyn's voice? And then you'll find it. So a lot of times I'll want to respond to someone. Okay, this is the other thing. And I don't have the time to put down in a well thought out email what I want to say. It doesn't mean that I don't care. It means that I care a heck of a lot. Like Evie, okay? There are so many things I have to tell Evie about what she's going through. But I say, I can't get down there and type all that. So now I said to her, let me talk to you. So now I've just got to get there and just say it, because there's no way I can type it all. It's too much. So it's just, it's a lot. Hi, Ma, we Chickadee, how are you? But it's a lot. Hey, J Bells, how are you? But it's not that. And if I send you a talk to text, if you see something, don't think Carolyn can't spell or type. It's a talk to text, and you've got to figure out. It's kind of like your own little decoder puzzle. I think it's good for your brain, too, to try to figure it out. And sometimes it'll give you a really good laugh. I don't know. Email at work now is more antiquated. It's just too intensive. Yeah. Right? It's like it used to be, right? Another meeting that could have been a memo. So it's like another email that could have been a talk to text. I don't know, right? I don't know. You haven't used talk text? Oh, really? Some of mine are epic. They should make. I should make a book of mine, like what they're supposed to say. They're quite comical. Some of them. I don't know why she never gets. Oh, if I ever do it to Casbat, which I have to do a lot, you think she would have the name in her vernacular, right? Casbat. But I don't see, and I'm so busy. This is the funny thing. Yeah. I'm so busy that I won't delete it, start again. I just keep going. So I swear to you, I can look at one of my things. Casbat will get a message like this. Hi, Cashback. Wait a minute. You haven't heard it. Hi, Casserole. It goes through 15 versions of her name until it gets to Casbat, because I'm screaming it by this point. I should, right? And then it's got it in two things, and then it goes through. But before that, there's 15 names that sound like Casbat. Cashba, Casba. It's crazy because I don't erase it. She keeps going and go. I do, because I've said I'm just going to keep going. It's going to get it eventually. Because sometimes it will erase a little bit of it. Casserole called her one day. Yeah. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst name. It doesn't recognize it at all. Cash cow. Cash cow one time. Oh my gosh. It just went cash cab. I think I don't know. It's just, it's unbelievable. Casserole. Casbah, like the Clash's song, Rockin' the Casbah. Cashback. Casserole. Oh my gosh. What? Who's target? I'm not mentioning. Wait, what's going on? Winter Snow Owen. Who's targeting you? Not me. You can't breathe? Oh, yeah, it's really bad. The Casbah. It's terrible. So if you get them from me, most everyone that gets them from me know that, oh, she's talking to text again. We get to figure it out. But the best way is just close your eyes and say it. Like, look at the word, close your eyes and say it. And say it a few times until you hear what it sounds like. It's like a backward version of charades. So, and every time you have to say, like, there's certain words that it just doesn't like. But that is what groups are business for me. I use groups. I think there are better options. We have conference, audio, video meetings. There is also groups for business. Yeah, well, that's good because you can have groups like that, like with people in the UK, you can use WhatsApp. In the United States, you have a lot of, with other people in the United States, you have a lot of options. You can do your regular text or whatever it is, or you can make a group or whatever. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, Stephanie. It does not like her name. Never. It never gets it. Never. Because you share documents in chat, text, and Zoom. Yeah. Complained about Jeanette and I are talking to Etsira. To Scooter, it's about Carolyn complaining about ignoring and reading. But it doesn't, don't think that this is meant for somebody here. It's not. Like Jeanette, it's not meant for you or anyone else that emails. You can email me. Please, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say if I don't get back to you, don't get like thinking, oh my gosh, she probably answered everybody but me. She hates me. I knew she hates me. I always knew she hated me because that's not the case. I promise you that is not the case. Okay, that I know at least probably 4 people here are going, she must be talking about me because I emailed her 4 times. That's what it is. She's talking about me. I'm not talking about you. I'm just in general, just talking in general. It's honestly, it's not about anybody here. It's not about anybody bothering me. It's just in general because her words resonated with me about losing relationships. It was about people that have already got pissed off at me and walked away because I didn't get to an email fast enough. It's not about anybody in here. Okay? It's just about people that have already thrown their hands up because I didn't get back to them. So it's not about any of you. Hey, Hannah, say, hey, Mandy. And if I, also, just one thing to be aware of. If I write back like 2 words, it doesn't mean like, oh, she hates me. She couldn't even. It means I just wanted to get back to you, let you know I saw the email, answer something real fast, and I'll try to get back to put more down later. Oh, no problem, CS. Yeah. Got it. No, I appreciate when you send me things. I do. I do appreciate, like, you know, what Big Eyes always sends me stuff, and it's great, you know, but then a lot of times I'll just send back, like, oh, thanks for this or something. Don't think, like, that's it. Some people will take it personally. Please don't. I think I have messages like 6 months between them. I'm also not very good at getting back to people. It doesn't mean I don't care. Right. Right. Good morning, Dorothy. Say that has happened to you. That's unfortunate. I bet that makes you feel so bad. It does, Stephanie, because it makes you feel really bad too when you have, let's say, like, come down, because I have come down. My sleep is like not much, right? Come down because I knew that there was an email I had to respond to before someone would get upset. Come down and gone. Hi, my wood chickadee. How are you? And then that's what I'm saying. And then no matter what you do for some people, they will never be happy. It's like they just want to secretly be miserable. And they want to think the worst of you. That's what I never understood. I never understood that. They're like looking to think the worst of you. See, I knew she was a jerk. I hate her. Personally, I think. Yeah, it's your and I do want to help people, you know, genuinely want to help someone that's having a rough time. That's why, you know, like for the most part, I have to prioritize things. So if someone tells me like I'm hanging off the 55th ledge of the building that I'm at, that's going to take precedence. But not a lot of people know what goes on, and that's the other thing. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. That people that I'm very close to are very ill, perhaps, or going through something horrendous, or you know, you don't know what family things that I could have to take care of, or what it is. So you have to factor that in, and just in general, think better of someone if you genuinely like them and they're not getting, just don't think like, how many people have done that, you know, in a relationship, right? I've heard people do that all the time. They're starting out a relationship and they're dating. The guy doesn't get back to them in time. And it's like 3 hours and they've already written off the relationship. I knew he never loved me. I knew he hated me. Nobody ever loves me. My horoscope said my relationship was going to end today. I knew this. I'm just going to call him. I'm going to end it before he ends it with me. And they go and they leave like 10 really embarrassing messages. And you're trying to tell them, don't do that. Don't do that. And then they find out, no, the guy was just at the dentist. He couldn't talk because he was shot up with Novocaine. But I'll go back and listen to your messages. Right? It's like A to Z. I think it's, I don't know. But nobody knows what other people, right, it works both ways. I hate typing. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, people. But it's true. There are people that it's like 3 hours and they're like freaking. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about people I know in real life with the relationships and things. Why isn't he texting me? Why isn't she texting me? Why didn't he answer me back? Why didn't she answer me back? You know, and it's like, and then they'll destroy it. It's like so they don't get hurt. So they'll destroy it first. They no longer want to get themselves out. Right? Yeah. You always have to do that in a relationship to wean out the psychopaths. Answer them a few hours later and see how they react. That's good, Erica, right? Yeah. It's due to instant gratification. That's why media builds this meditation. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody has any patience anymore. And then like with all these things, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. this technology we have, do you know, like in Facebook, if you just go in and you have a message open, it'll be like seen, but I really didn't see the message, right? And there are people that go, I know she saw the message. I'm not talking about me now. I'm talking about in my real life, people I know. They go, I sent so-and-so a message. I know it's been seen, and I know they're online. Say, there's too many things. Like, so they know the message has been seen. They know the person's online because their little green light is there, right? When you have iPhone to iPhone, it says delivered. It's, when the message has been seen. In WhatsApp, you get a little check mark, right? But they're not always accurate. They're not. Sometimes your phone could just switch on like that and it says you saw the message and you didn't. My Facebook, I think, I never go to Facebook anymore, and I guarantee you, because I keep it open in a tab, that it says I'm green all the time, and people might think, oh, she's there, look at her. And I sent her, like 6 bazillion messages, and she's seen them, and she can't even just type back, okay. But I haven't, because I don't even go on Facebook. It's just, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. So, but people do that, and especially like the millennial people. They depend on that seen stuff and everything. Just have the app. I know, but I think it's really bad. I think that there should be something like, if you want to say seen, that you put the check mark in when you've read it. Because it's not right for them to say that it's been seen and it hasn't been. You're scared of people, right? It's just that I think people have to cut each other a break. Just like, well, wow, okay. They just if you haven't heard like something, don't assume the worst, like that person doesn't like you. Assume maybe they got really busy. Maybe a friend of theirs is in a bad time and they were up all night with that friend. Maybe something else happened. Maybe one of their kids got sick. Maybe they, it's just, don't always think the worst of somebody. I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking in general. We all have to stop, like. So my husband can see it. What did Margie write? Margie wrote something really good that you want your husband to see? I missed it. Which is it? You'll have to let me know what Margie's comment was. I went up and I can't see it. I don't know, Two Scooter, let me know. I want to see if Two Scooter wants her husband to see it. It must be pretty good. It's paranoia. But I think it's just instant gratification, like someone said. Some don't have the social skills to work that out. It's a shame, You call Facebook face crack? Currently have my chat off on Facebook, yet when I log on, the light is green. It's so annoying. Yeah. No, I totally get it. Because have you ever been on Facebook trying just to check something? Like if I have to go post about, if I post a video on my page, I don't even want to look at my feed because 19,000 people have birthdays. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to wish everybody a happy birthday. And I know it's a nice thing, but then I get stuck doing it. And it's 3 hours later because I'm doing that. And I mean, these aren't even my close friends that I'm doing it for. They're not even anybody connected to here. They're like connected to like other things. Like I don't even know who the people are anymore. That says it's their birthday, but I feel bad. So I'm wishing a happy birthday because I'm thinking it might be the only birthday wish they're ever getting. And so I'm going to do it. And I don't know. That's why I can hardly ever go there. Killed his 5 children. What, Corey? What did Corey say? Hi, Carolyn. I just sent you a message about a question I have. I've searched through your videos. I'm trying to find the podcast where you were speaking about to the ex-wife of the guy that killed his 5 children. Oh, it's on there. It's I'll have to get back to the email. You could search for it. It's Tim Jones Jr. I sometimes think that too, but people don't understand. That's when you click the pre-made birthday wishes that Facebook provides. Yeah, it's just, but I do feel bad because I have a lot of guilt when I don't get back to somebody, or I don't like it's bad, it makes you feel bad. Like when something happens and you say, dang, why didn't, just like I have to call one of my real life friends. Now she's actually my sister's friend. She called me. This is so bad. Now, again, she's got a lot of time on her hands. I know that when I get on the phone with her, she doesn't want to get and I feel bad because I know how lonely she is. So I know that when I get on the phone with her, it can never be a quick call. It's going to be at least an hour. So that's part of the problem. But it was like a day, I think it was actually like Christmas Day. Okay, think about how big. And I'm going like Looney Tunes with everything I have. And Jimmy says to me, hey, so-and-so's on the phone. And I said, oh my gosh, tell her I'll call her right back. I was literally in the bathroom. Okay, so I totally forgot to call. Not that I totally forgot. And I feel terrible. And I don't know. I felt terrible. I'm like, she was probably calling. Of course she was calling because I sent a Christmas card and they usually send a card. And I guarantee you she was calling to say they weren't going to send cards this year. They're going to donate money or whatever they're going to say. But then it was going to turn into an hour phone call. But then I think she could die tomorrow. Okay? And then I'd say, why didn't I freaking call her? But it's bad. So then I get like all this guilt about that. Been really hurt, and I know I am vulnerable, but I see lots of people online with similar issues. With similar issues? What issues, Potter? That they're really hurt? What? Nothing. I know it is not for me, but I just made that comment towards winter because I have seen it. You feel guilty because you really care. You're not responsible for other people's happiness and well-being. Yeah, I know, but still. Wrestling wet cats. Is it about wrestling wet cats? Is this the end of the world? Thank you. Is this the end of the world? What's the end of the world? Why? Oh, with being oversensitive. There are a lot of people that are oversensitive, Potter. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, Jeanette. Of course. So true with my team. No, but this all came into what she posted. And see how someone that's not here anymore could have left behind something that could help someone else. Not only let you get to know her a little more, and she is the victim, and I think, you've got this guy that's going to be slandering her, saying she was a psycho case and she was on psychiatric medication and all this stuff, when you could see another side through the writing she left behind that's in her own words about stuff that's going on, about stuff she said in court. So with social media, with Shanann, it was with videos and text. With, we never saw anybody that ingrained. Kelsey Barrett, we hardly saw anything to really get into Kelsey's mindset. But even this, I think the more we have about a victim, then you have even more empathy for them and what they went through. Just by Marina, she was mom of Lulu and Leo. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that who it was? That was horrible. I do remember that. That was horrible. That was horrible. She had another, yeah, that's who it was. She had another baby, right? That's the baby she's talking about. I remember, yeah. So she must have known her. So this Jennifer Dulos knew that case. Wow. And she was around the Newtown stuff as well. It gives the victim a voice. It does. But people will tell you, what's the point? I learned a lot just from the Watts case. Absolutely. It does, I think, too, and I tried to explain this to someone. I tried to explain this to someone that had a real problem with going back in the discovery, not about the Watts case, about another case, going back in the discovery and looking at interactions that this murderer had with the person he murdered, with the people he knew. Why did we have to do that? What were we doing? Really read the Riot Act. And I tried to explain that just like when they consult the FBI profilers, like they did with about Megan, right? About did she fit this certain profile, and what all of that stuff is very relevant when you have someone that committed the crime. That's why it's in the discovery, because it is relevant. Just like they said, even in this silly game that we're playing, that the years before and the time after, as well as the time there, is all important. Their interactions, everything. If you want to study the psyche of someone, you have to look at that. It can also help you recognize this different patterns. That's how they know, well, this fits the pattern of this kind of killer. This fits the pattern of someone that, is a womb raider. This fits the pattern of of serial killer. How do you learn that if you don't go back and study the interactions? When we have it, we're going to study it. And I don't know. Right? So I want to see as much as I can. Sure, I like painting. I did ceilings. But to try to figure that out, and I think it also helps you once you start to see patterns. I mean, just in learning about narcissists, right? It's easy, the more you know, to see the patterns of them. Oh, here's the love bombing. And then's going to come the passive aggressive stuff, right? Oh, with the JK on the end. Oh, I'm just joking. Just joking every day. Then they go to the next phase and the next phase, and then they go to the smear campaign, and then they start all over again with another. Once you start learning all that, then they usually have the health crisis, right? Then when they feel they give the health crisis, and it follows a certain pattern. And people can protect themselves from being a victim or recognize it, helping someone else recognize it. And the more you go through it, you'll see they really have distinct patterns. They might veer a little bit, but they have distinct patterns. No, I don't, Teacup. Yeah, I'd like to know. I hope she's doing well. Prayers for her, definitely. I mean, I do pray for her. That's why I watch you, because you go into detail. Yeah, and maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's a gender thing. Maybe it's a gender thing. I think a lot of us as women like to delve into it and kind of figure it out. But then you have FBI profilers like John Douglas that would get into it. So I don't know to say so much. Then they disparage you to others. Right, that's their smear. You know, they've put in the smear campaign and they go behind the scenes. And you see that. And what I'm really good at now is I can see when someone, let's say that there is something, somebody's causing trouble, but then somebody comes in and says something, and I say, I know right away now, that person that's causing the trouble went behind the scenes and said to the other person, oh, and said, you know, everyone else is so mean, or whoever it is so mean, so you can't believe what they did to me, little me. I didn't do anything. And then that's what I mean. If that person they're talking to is not savvy and doesn't say, well, wait a second, something's not clicking here. But if they study behavior a little better, they would find out that, wait a minute, why is this person coming to me and telling me things and I don't see those things? And yeah, that's what happens. So you recognize red flags, but that's why I go into those. I think it's important. I think it's important to know the victim. I think Jennifer as a victim would like people to know the real her, and that what's going to come out if there's a trial and he's going to start saying, you know, she was a psycho mess and all this stuff. And no, she was a very real person that struggled with a lot of things that a lot of mothers do with that many young children. And so I think it's very important. But anyway, so that's why we delve into it. But I must hit, because this week, you know, some are saying, what the hell, like as if I'm just sitting here doing useless stuff or something. I don't know, just like not, and just, I don't know, just blaming that, oh my gosh, there's cases, but this is a current case. We did a current, you know, it's just like, I don't know. You will not please everyone, and not everyone can understand why you study something, but there is great importance. That's why it's out there, and that's why people study it. Right? That's why they call in profilers and say, hey, this is what's happened so far. What kind of person fits this profile? If nobody studied this behavior, nobody would know how to do that. So it's interesting to me. So, because a lot of times too, if you looked maybe at the Dulos marriage on the outside, oh my gosh, they have it all. This woman wanted to be a monk and be in a scratchy burlap sack, right? And would anybody know that looking outside? Maybe you thought she was a huge snob. Some people do. Some people look at people that have a lot of money and think that, oh, they're snobs. They look down on people. And there she said, we're going to go to Walmart and get candy and popcorn for the kids. She wasn't saying we're going to get them little baby Chanel bags and, you know. So I think you see that your perceptions might be skewed as to what someone might be thinking. She's not looking down on someone. So, yeah, it's just, that's why I thought you would like that Netflix show. Mindhunter, whatever it is. Mindhunter, yeah. And that's why I like the book The Killer Across the Table, written by John Douglas. But I think you really have to go in there and just see different things. I think it helps you figure things out or understand what somebody else is going through, right? So that's it. But a lot of, you know, but see, I don't have time for everything, Earth Angel. That's what's crazy. So sometimes, like I don't get to my mommy ramblings emails, or I don't get to something, I don't get to something else. I can't do it all. I can't. And sometimes I feel like crazed that, oh my gosh, that because I feel very bad. Like if I said like I'm going to do something, then I want to do it. But I just, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just reading her words tonight just resonated with me. And reading not only her words, the words of those people she put in there, it just resonated with me that you have to cut yourself a break, because I take it all on me. Like when somebody does that, I'll say, oh my gosh, well, couldn't I have just got to the last? But even if I got to the last email, it would have only staved them off to the next time, because they were going to end up the person that was going to do it anyway. And they maybe if they did it right away, it would have saved you time. So I think you've got to forgive yourself and say, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's crazy. We have to, and right, and that was the other thing about taking the time and just sitting and listening to the rain. If you want to just sit and listen to the rain, because I have that kind of stuff too. Like, okay, I'm sitting and listening to the rain, but what do I've got to get done? I've got to get that other blog post done. There's probably someone there that needs a spot. And yes, we're all looking at stuff, but yeah, we just got to just chill. And it's okay just to chill. So, and like sometimes here too, like even Jimmy will say, what do you got lined up for tonight? And sometimes, I mean, when there's not a big case, I just want to say, maybe I just want to freaking go on there and chill. Like a lot of these, like a lot, sometimes I look, like some creators just come on there and they've got nothing. And they just sit there, and I say, but a lot of times, like, everybody's like, well, what are we talking about tonight? Like, and I feel like it's always got to be, now, it's no problem when there are cases around, but sometimes, you know what I mean, we get like a lull. And I never feel like I could just say, hey, we're going to chill tonight. We're just going to talk about anything. But because I feel like I'm not, like, bringing you what you want to see. So I feel like an incredible pressure. It's not, like I said, it's not a pressure at all when we have current cases going on that are, you know, that are just very interesting and you want to get into them. But then there are some times, like, you know what I mean? There are some times when it's really, there's not much going on. And either we're waiting for a trial or waiting for this, and there's just quietness. And I struggle with that. I feel bad. Like, and Jimmy tries to, like, he'll be like, because he doesn't get it, so he'll say, "Oh my gosh, well, you've got to go," and he'll start to give me like other cases, and I'll just feel like, why can't we just have an off day? Like, why can't we just talk about 70s TV shows or something the entire time? Not just at the end, not after we're finished. Why not the entire time? You know, I don't know. So just like this kind of talk at the end, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go to Scooter. I just had to, I feel like I'm in therapy. Okay. And the therapist is saying it's okay. So yeah, you enjoy rambling? Yeah. So see, then no pressure on me. Okay. Because I feel like, I just tell you that I do deal with that pressure that, you know, I wanted to bring content, something all the time. No, we're all here though, 80s girls. So I don't want to just have people bored. My biggest thing is that, like, I just don't want people like bored to tears. Like, oh my gosh, what is going on with her? And then just feel like, well, we don't want to leave because then she'll get upset. But this is ridiculous. This is horrible. This is so bad. We're not going to be able to stay here. She continues like this, you know. So I'm just like, that's what's going on. Chill night would work. But so it's nice to have the game to do. I mean, but even when I do the game, like I'm constantly thinking, like, is everyone here is okay with this? Or maybe some people are like, why is she playing? And I know there's some people like, why are they doing this stupid game? It's not a real case. So, oh, thanks, Gigi. Lulu's, oh, lulls, our bathroom and snack breaks. Oh, thanks, Eddie's girl. All right, then I'll have a little less pressure. Okay, well, that helps. That helps, and I have a little less pressure. I can tell Jimmy the next time, don't worry, we'll find something. We'll find something to talk about. Right? Okay, good. All right, that gives me yeah, because you don't know how Jimmy is like. I'm telling you, like, it's not a big deal. Like when we have like a case like Fotis do or whatever, there's lots and lots, but it's just like times when there's lulls. See, I'm doing it right, Potter. I know. I know. I do it. I do worry. I take on a lot of guilt. I do. All right. Hey, Evie. All right. Fun live as always. Okay. We've been on a long time because I came on early with the Hunter Killer. Oh my gosh. Okay. But then I took a little time in between. All right. We ramble about everything. All right, guys. All right. Thank you for your kind words. Love you guys. God bless. Stay safe. I will talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow. Everybody stay happy and kind. And kind. That was that thing in there. Be kind. You can always be kind. There's a, what you say, we'll take it to heart. Be kind. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you to our moderators. Thank you guys for coming. Goodbye now. How am I going to get up here like this?